Yes, guys, welcome back to the Irish Hotspur. Here with your boy Jack and Sean, here to do the pump up, here to do the watch along. We're going to be watching Southampton versus Tottenham Hotspur. It's over at St. Mary's for this one. It's no longer at home. It's probably our first away game in some time, actually, under Antonio Conte. Sean, how you looking? How you feeling about this one? The 3-4-1-2, a bit of a different formation. Dele Alli in the midfield. How do you feel?
Yeah, I am. Morning, Jackie. Or afternoon, everybody. Morning, Jackie, to you. I am feeling positive. I'm happy that Tottenham are playing again. I think today's going to be a little bit more tricky than how I felt before the game against Palace. Away day. Southampton are unpredictable. They're off the back of some good form against a somewhat irrelevant but yet still dangerous West Ham team. So it's going to be tough. Team news is out. It's interesting. Lucas Moura's not in the starting 11. Dele Alli's back in. Harry Winks has been decided to be played in front of Oliver Skip today. So I don't know whether it's rotation or a preferable formation, but it looks it's going to be a good game, and I'm positive and hopeful of 3 points.
Yep, let's get the 3 points. And everybody, as you probably have already seen, but, might as well read it out loud. We do have Lloris in goal, Emerson at wide wing back, Sanchez, Dyer, and Davies. Davies is back into the lineup with Reguilon on the other side, with Højbjerg and Winks holding it down in the midfield, with Dele Alli maybe potentially being the one going a bit further forward in kind of that number 10 role. And then Sonny and Kane up top. Another opportunity for us to see how Sonny and Kane can kind of take the burden of maybe the entire attack on their shoulders. Actually looking forward to it because I think they were spectacular against Liverpool. I feel like this could be a decent opportunity again to see them up front as a 2. But let's greet some Harris Army members here with Craig Bowler saying, what? No pump up. I feel like I'm going into the game really underprepared now. Yeah, we're slapping over here, Craig. With David, he brings you the pump up. He brings you the pre-match pump up to the pump up. We're missing a lot of things. No stats with Jack as well. I could probably say, Craig, you're actually really unprepared. And, that's on us. David and I will make it up to you, my man. Big yourself up, Craig. William McKenzie saying, come on, you Spurs. Big yourself up, William McKenzie. Dark Sun G saying, Reggie won. And I don't know why, but I feel one of our 3 center backs will score today. If Lucas and Hill comes on, it might be 8-0. I'm loving it, Dark Sun G. Absolutely loving it. Hopefully you're keeping well. Sean Butler, of course, is in the comments. And we do have Avi saying, good morning. Have a good game today. Certainly we will, my man. Certainly we will. Anthony Gray saying, feeling it's going to be a hard away slog today, but we'll come through with the win in the end. I think that's how we're all going for it. I'm going for a 2-0, Anthony. I'm going for a 2-0. I think it's not going to be as pretty as we would like it to be, unfortunately. Celery agents in the building. Big yourself up, Celery. Hopefully you're keeping well. Catman Jess, the absolute legend with the big come on you Spurs. Big yourself up, Catman. Hopefully things are all good over there. Old Soul, big up, Old Soul. Good to see you. Thank you very much also as well for the thumbnail last night. Seems like people did like the new fan show thumbnail. Killian Kenny saying, big up, David Harris. I'm turning on my phone to watch your Spurs watch along. There you go, Killian. Keep the phone on. Keep it buzzing. Keep it hot. But David and will be sitting out for this one. He will be back tomorrow. I promise you, he will be back tomorrow. But you do have us, Killian. And here's your shout out, my man. Big yourself up. Hopefully you're keeping well. Dara saying, hey, lads, big yourself up, Dara. Hopefully you're keeping well. You have the royalty in the building of Matty Hayes. Big up, Matty. Hopefully everything is all good, my man. Hopefully everything is all good. Hopefully you're going to be enjoying this away slog, as people are saying. And also, he's going to be informing us on all the transfer news, letting us know maybe if Levy's going to be playing us, as kind of a playing a trick on us, or if we actually will be getting some of these big signings in. And big yourself up, Matty. Sanuska in the building saying hi all. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Harris Army. Come on, you Flat Cap Army. Big yourself up, Sanuska. Hopefully everything all good with you. Adam Phillipson, he liking the Musa Dembele song. I love it. People are liking it. I'm digging it. You can thank Lazy 801 for that one, everybody. And then we do have Elias in the building. Come on, Elias. There you go, my man. Big yourself up, brother. Big yourself up, brother. I will get back to you on Instagram. I do apologize. Just not very good with my phone, and I think Sean Butler can attest to that as well. So big yourself up, Elias. Adam Phillip saying Southampton do their annual 9-0 spanking. Yeah, it's due time. It's due time for one. Ben Kaufman saying hello, ladies and gentlemen. We also have, absolute Harris Army royalty with Ben Kaufman there. Derek Hutchinson in the building saying 2-4. That sounds like spectacular game, my man. That sounds like a spectacular game. Lazy 801 saying, what's up, Jack? What's up, Sean? Saints slamming incoming. Yeah, it's absolutely incoming. And everybody, thank Lazy 801 for that little watch along timer, for that little cue down and everything. He's just an absolute genius behind the keyboard. He is. And also an absolute legend of the Harris Army. Ribsy, good to see you, Ribsy. Hopefully everything's all good, my man. Hopefully everything is all good. Carl Miguel Escobardo. Big up, Carl Miguel Escobardo, absolute legend as well. William Kelly saying, let's do this, a 2-0 Spurs. I'm loving that. Absolutely loving that, my man.
That as
Absolutely.
well, yeah.
I think that could be the way to go about it, actually, William. I think, it's the most realistic, actually, sort of kind of expectation for this one is kind of a 2-0. A 2-0 just seems right. It just seems accurate. Just seems also a bit tasty. I'm also a bit of a fan of a 1-0, so I wouldn't be too disappointed with that. But I think it seems like with Southampton, they always are due a spanking, William. So figure yourself out.
Is William just getting up, or is he just going to bed after the game? It must be middle of the night in Australia right now, isn't it?
It must be, yeah. But I mean, the dedication is always there with him.
Yeah,
the dedication is always there. He usually just has a bit of the Captain Morgan, I think, to the side, and kind of keeping himself awake. So he is. But big yourself up, William. And hopefully you're keeping well. And also, it's brilliant to meet Luke last night. It really was. Absolute legend. You guys are. Simon, big up, Simon. Premier Hotspur TV saying, yes, Jack in the panel. Hope your day is all well. And I'm saying 3-1 Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Simon. And also, hopefully you're keeping well, my man. And I would say, Simon, as well, that was hilarious. I ran into you, King Hoddle, and ATX Gaming, I believe, in that Liverpool chat a little while ago after that result. That was absolutely hilarious to see some of the Harris Army and some of the greater Spurs community regulars, in the building in a Liverpool chat. I mean, we fly everywhere. We fly everywhere. You can't stop us. Dark Sun G saying, I want to be 5-0 by 60 minutes so that Harvey White can play. Is Harvey White on the bench?
Yeah, he is.
We need to get that. We need the Dark Sun G. I know you would be the happiest man in the building to be seeing that. You would be the happiest man in the building to be seeing that. And that just sounds spectacular. That sounds spectacular, Dark Sun G. And then THFC for life saying, come on, you Spurs, big yourself up, my man. And then Dara saying, no Stevie on the bench. Maybe, Sean, you want to inform Dara on that one?
No, we don't know. All I've heard from rumors
Allegedly,
on certain sort of WhatsApp groups that I'm on is that apparently he was photographed last night. This could be completely unrelated. So this is just complete speculation here, but he was photographed last night at about 9 o'clock in the evening with 2 young girls in some sort of social environment, and there's no news about any injury. And for him not to be on the bench and not in the team at all obviously leads you to think maybe there's something that's happened with a disciplinary thing. Maybe he's broken COVID protocol. Again, complete speculation. Don't take my word for it. I'm just repeating what I've heard. But that's the only thing that I've heard that could explain why Stevie B's not even on the pitch. Jack, just so I know, where are you on the stream?
I'm weirdly still seeing them kind of get onto the pitch. Let me see if I can refresh and see what happens here.
Because I'm 1 minute in at the moment.
Jeez, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but happy to press pause until you're up to scratch.
Maybe just wait out 1 minute for me. But yeah, that's a bit insane. Let me just see if I can go to my other little paid subscription. That's a bit odd.
Okay, I'll press pause now.
I guess we're way behind in the US at the moment.
This is streaming on Amazon today in the UK, so I don't know if you have Amazon.
Yeah, all right. I am at 55 seconds. What were you at? 1 minute?
I'm at 1 minute 13. I'll press pause. So
I'll let you know when I get there.
Everybody in the chat, please press pause as well. So we'll try to be on the same sync.
All right, 1 minute 13.
Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Sean. I appreciate you. Good man. But yeah, no Stevie on the bench, Dara. I mean, kind of crazy, I must say. Kind of crazy. I think, potentially he's on his way to Ajax. Potentially he's, just kind of misbehaved and not followed protocols. Who knows? A lot of allegedlys.
Yeah.
William Kelly saying, I'm on the Kraken rum now, Jack. There you go, William Kelly. It's a good brand. I'm not kidding. It's a good brand. Also, as well, I believe they sponsored the hockey team here, the Seattle Kraken. So there you are, my man. Not a bad choice. And also, I believe that's a bit of a darker rum. So, I like where your head's at, especially in the middle of the night, whatever it is. You don't want, that lighter colored rum or that white rum. You want that bit of that darker rum. So I like where your head is at, my man. I like where your head is at, William Kelly. Pick yourself up, my man. Pick yourself up. Kevin K saying, oh, no, I don't like to see that. He's saying, it's already 1-0. Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good. But True Sets Free in the building saying, Gogama, the queen. She absolutely is. Premier Hotspur saying, Jack, that was funny as that Liverpool chat. We fucked them, but love it. Absolutely. All right, guys, I am going to look at it.
Go on, Hoiberg.
Beer on the ball here, playing out wide to Emerson. Gets cut out by Southampton fullback. Adam Armstrong taking Sanchez here. Emerson sealing him in a beautiful pass outside.
I must be a couple of seconds ahead of you, Jack. I'm going to press pause for a second then.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
Up. Kevin K, why pause? Just watch it live. If you're right that Southampton are 1-0 up, that's the reason why we all try and sync up. We try and make sure everyone's on the same time.
We will get the timer very, very soon, everybody. I do apologize. It will come soon. It's just, we've been a bit kind of behind on catching up with things like that. And it does require David or I to become a bit more technologically, smarter, which, does take a bit of time. It's kind of like embedding yourself into the Premier League, like Emerson, it's just going to take a bit of time, everybody. Yeah. But we do have Lloris giving it back to Dyer. Dyer plays it into Winks. Winks plays it back to Lloris. This will be interesting here. Lloris probably going long here. Plays it long to Deli. Chests it to Harry Kane. Harry Kane, it's right behind you. Harry Kane lost something there. Plays it back out to Adam Armstrong. Adam Armstrong plays it back to Foster.
I think Kevin K must have been winding us up. He must have been. Very good.
Well done, my man. Good bait. Good bait. Island Life in the building. Big yourself up, Island Life. Also, big up, Gogama. Thank you for joining us. Absolute legend. So she is. Big yourself up. Antonio Conte on the sidelines there, absolutely barking into the players already. I mean, he needs to. He needs to ball into Harry Kane from a throw-in from Emerson, Harry. Getting absolutely assaulted on the pitch. I mean, the referee just has to remember that the WWE was last night. Dele Alli with a few crayons in the head today. We'll see how that works out for him. Beautiful pass by Eric Dyer there. Harry Winks plays it out wide to Emerson. Plays it back to Harry Winks. Beautiful turn by Harry. Dyer with a little dink ball into Harry Kane.
Well out, Sancho.
Ward-Prowse plays it out wide to, I believe, Proud or whatever his name is. Now Southampton with a bit of possession in our side of the pitch.
Ball comes in, it's a good cross. Oh.
Shane Long is very good in the air, I must say, despite me probably ripping into him in the background. I must say he is actually quite decent in the air. The guy is
in the air, isn't he? Would have been offside anyway, looks like. Had it gone in.
Yeah, an old VAR that would have been offsides for sure. Puka Pete saying Watford already 1-0 up against the Hammers. There you go. I mean, Dara also as well saying
we're not worried about the Hammers anymore, guys. The Hammers are done. They're not a factor anymore. Forget about them.
You do gotta love it, especially. I think Watford, they seem to also be showing up only for the big teams this season. I do find it actually quite funny, actually.
They do the same every year. Every year they seem to, in recent years, they seem to start well, and after about somewhere between 15 and 20 games in, they end up just losing their stamina or whatever you want to call it, and then they kind of just fizzle out. It's not uncommon to see them start well and fade.
Dele Alli with a bit of pressure on Salisu, plays a nice ball into Armstrong. Sanchez hits it out for a throw-in. Bit cagey at this moment in time, but that's to be expected within the first 6 minutes, I must say.
Rootin', shooting, tootin', Putin asks, what minute are you at? We are at 6 minutes and 30 seconds currently. Give or take 6 minutes, 33, 34, 35. Don't know if that's getting it. Is that where you are, Jack, as well?
Yep, that's perfect. Yep. That's perfect. There you are. And also good to see you rootin', shooting, tootin', Putin. It's been a while, my man. It's been a while. I mean, where have you been? Where have you been? It's good to see you.
Stuart Armstrong.
Plays it out wide, I believe.
Perot.
Ball into the back post. Over Kyle Walker-Peters' head. Keeps it in play. No foul by the referee. Kyle Walker-Peters coming in to take on Region.
He's done well. He's done very well. Oh, no! Adam Armstrong.
Oh.
Should have done a lot better. Free header.
Guess that was just a bit too tall for him, that header.
He is a small man, isn't he, Adam Armstrong?
If that was Shane Long there, that could have been a bit dangerous.
Yeah, the timing of the jump, it was a little bit behind him, and the timing of the jump wasn't ideal, but certainly reasons to be concerned. Here's
Oh,
Harry
Harry
Kane.
Kane just rolls him. Absolutely just rolls him. That was beautiful to see. Cutting inside now. Bednarek all over him. Finds
Well done, Harry
Højbjerg or
Kane.
finds Harry Winks.
Dele
Harry
Alli.
Winks
It's got
finds
to be a free
Dele.
kick, referee.
That has to be.
Referee!
Dele Alli now all over Salisu.
Track back, Dele. Well played.
Cut out by Harry Winks. Well done, Winks.
Game's opening up a little bit here, Jackie. Game is opening up a tiny
It's
bit.
a beautiful turn by Harry Kane. Absolutely just giving Bednarek, just honestly just displaying his class there, just showing his intelligence. Harry Kane was, honestly, that was beautiful to see.
Yeah. You worried about Kyle Walker-Phillips having some would it be a little bit of sweet justice?
I think he was always a decent player, to be honest. Like, I think, it's probably the deal that we made, to take Højbjerg and give them Walker Peters. I think
it was a good deal.
It was a great deal, and probably one that Southampton will now never do a deal with us ever again for. Was actually, I did kind of miss him. I think he was actually not a bad fullback, to be honest. I think he's showing that because he can play on the left, as a inverted sort of fullback, which kind of speaks to his technical ability.
Yeah.
And then Izhan Khan, big up Izhan. He's saying Salisu is a very talented center back. I would agree, actually. I do agree, actually. I think he is decent. But Southampton do concede a fair amount of goals sometimes. So they're very, very back and forth, and I feel like not a bad team, actually, to learn how to defend, Southampton, because they do, they do definitely get some slammings or some beatings every once in a while. And that's probably good just for the mentality, to play for a team like that. So absolutely, Izhan. Absolutely, my man.
I think the treat sets free is ducking out. I think he's disappearing for the rest of the day.
Best wishes to all in the chat. Come on, your Spurs Victor today, and have a great day. Truth sets free. Hopefully everything is all right, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well. Enjoy the potential win. Enjoy the future win, as you're saying, and also stay safe, my man. Stay safe. Hopefully you're keeping well, though.
Legend. That man is a legend.
Ward-Prowse playing it into Diallo, who plays it out wide to their fullback, and a decent shot on goal, but off target. Catman Jess saying, will there be a New Year's Eve show, Jack? The Xmas show was great. I'll talk to David about it, Catman. I'll talk to David about it. That could be interesting, my man. That could be interesting. Especially because I know you guys were already 8 hours ahead anyway. So
yeah.
It'd be nice early.
Waking up with a hangover.
No, it'd be a nice early drink for us. Would be. No, it'd be a good way to a good little pregame, a good pre-pump, a good pre-match pump up. But because we are playing on New Year's Day the next day anyway, so maybe a good idea, Catman Jess. Maybe a good idea. But Southampton seem to be having a lot of the ball, I must say, especially in our half, which is, a bit concerning. Ward-Prowse with the ball in behind. Region clears. It seems to be offside as well. Kyle Walker-Peters. Not been the most exciting game, I must say, especially on our side. I mean, we've barely been able to touch the ball inside their half. But I think someone did say this, though, Sean, at one stage, where they said Southampton do come out very fast, and they do come out. They come out very heavy. They're a bit kind of like Leeds in that regard, where, you kind of have to weather the storm for the first kind of 15, 20 minutes. Do you agree?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I heard that a few times last night. I forget who it was who was saying it. But yeah, allegedly that's what happens. Yeah, the first half is their chance to create goals, to create value, and then they hang on if they can. But if this is the worst that we have to weather, then I'm not that bothered. Right now, apart from that chance for Shane Long, they've essentially, for Adam Armstrong and Shane Long, but Shane Long looked offside. Then, it's a great turn from Harry Kane. Do one more. Go on, Harry.
Ref.
Dele Alli.
It's just in front of Dele Alli. Bit too heavy. Bit too heavy. Oh,
that's promising though. Harry Kane getting his first touches. It's looking, and with the turn, it's looking a little bit more hopeful. That's such a delectable little first touch. He nutmegged. Who was that?
Just needs to. That was just. If he played that pass, that would have been spectacular.
Was that Diallo that he nutmegged or Salisu? I think it was Diallo.
I didn't actually see. Elias is asking who will score. I think Harry Kane is going to open the scoring again. He's been kind of having a track record so far of now been opening the scoring the last few games, and then I think Sonny will score. And then maybe just in the spirit of Dark Sun G, I think a fullback will score between Emerson and Son Heung-min. But Salisu with a harsh tackle on Dele Alli.
I think it was Salisu who got nutmegged by Harry Kane 2 minutes earlier. So that was probably his way of getting his frustration out. No one likes to get nutmegged ever.
Taken out on Dele Alli, instead of Harry Kane.
He's coming in again. Harry Kane, another lovely first touch again. Sonny! Card referee! Oh, it's Reguilon. Oh, he's booking Reguilon? No, he's booking the Southampton player.
Oh, ref, I mean...
Kyle Walker-Peters.
That seems a bit nice, actually, to give a yellow card there. That seems a bit generous, if you ask me. That seems a bit generous.
Yeah, I mean, Reguilon wasn't getting to the ball anyway. It was silly from Walker.
Well done by Reguilon, actually. It was a huge pull.
He bought that.
Well done, Reguilon. Well done, Reguilon. Well done. You absolutely love to see it. You must say, that's the benefit of having two different players, as fullbacks from La Liga, is, they do have that in their locker. It's beautiful to see.
Tell you what's even more beautiful to see than that, though, Jackie, is Harry Kane's start. The way that he's turning on a sixpence, the way he's putting this first little touch. Southampton are pressing in the midfield quite high on him, quite tight to him, and he's aware of it, and he's waiting for them to approach, and they'll just flick it round and then create some gaps. Kind of like what Lucas Moura sometimes does, the way he'll bring the pressure on, turn and run at them. But this time Harry Kane instead is putting Reguilon through, and Reguilon buys the yellow card from Walker-Peters. So
beautiful analysis here. Sean. He's rolling them like a fresh morning dove, so he is. He's absolutely rolling them. Yeah. Great analysis, Sean.
Oh, thank you.
But Elias, I'm going Reguilon or Emerson. Ball in.
Davies! Is it offside? Oh, it's offside.
Davies knows it. God, how many goals has Davies almost scored this season? I mean, he could have like 4 or 5 goals this season. He's way off.
Southampton hold that line very well. All 4 of our Tottenham's attackers were offside. Then who was it though in the chat who predicted? Was it Dark Sun G? Who predicted
Dark Sun G said a centre back might score.
Centre back scoring today, yeah, almost Dark Sun G.
Very close there. I would say Ben Davies has almost been close to having like 4 goals this season. He doesn't have any goals for us, I believe, but he's been very, very close. He's been very close to getting a goal for us.
Yeah, he's definitely top of the almost scored list in the Premier League.
He's definitely top of the almost scored list for sure. But pick yourself up, Elias. That's my prediction. I think it's going to be Reguilon, Sonny, and Harry Kane. Decent ball in, actually, well cut out by Harry Winks. Harry Winks looking for a pass here.
Oh, no, Harry Winks! Oh, no, he's let it go! Oh, he's got back. He did well.
Thought he had a year on the ball.
He made up for his mistake, though. He cut out the attempted through ball from...
Truth, that's where he says he's not going anywhere. This is where he stands.
Good man, Truth.
William Kelly saying, I expected this from Southampton. Keep it tight and they will run out of steam. I think that's again, that is beautifully said, William Kelly. That is beautifully said. I think they're a bit like Leeds, where I just feel like they're just going to give us, a lot to think about in the first 20 minutes. And then they will tire because they don't have as deep of a squad as us. Their talent certainly is not as, as great as ours. And then as well, they just played a very hard fought win against West Ham. So whereas ours was very comfortable. And so you'd like to think that maybe they don't have as much in the tank as we do. And we're just going to have to weather the storm potentially for these first 20 minutes. But William Kelly, I completely agree. And I think, Sean, you did as well, where you were saying this is a team that does really start off fast.
Well, I didn't realize that until someone mentioned it yesterday. And then I looked into the stats and it did look like their energy, their percentage, their kilometers traveled was a lot higher in the first half than it is in the second half. So I forget who it was who mentioned it yesterday or the day before. What day was the
I believe it was yesterday. I think you're absolutely right. Adam Armstrong into Diallo here, plays it back post with a shocking ball. Sonny challenging for the header with Ward-Prowse, getting it out of our own half here. Bednarek recycles it back into Foster. But William Kelly, absolutely spot on, my man. Absolutely spot on. And Ishan Khan saying Watford are beating West Ham. Yes, they are, my man. Yes, they are. It's kind of ridiculous, I must say. He says, legendary panel, thanks to Sean and Jack. Big yourself up. And honestly, we're missing one legend, but we'll make do with 2 at the moment. But big yourself up, Truth. Kuva 99 joined us saying, what the finks? Pick up Kuva. It's good to see you. Oh,
get across. Oh, get off, Ben Davies.
Well done. Well seen by Ben Davies. That was very scary there.
Sliding in, though, at full pelt in the box.
Sue Smith is joining us. Big up, Sue. Good to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well. Another queen of the Harris Army. Big yourself up, Sue. Hopefully everything is all good, though. Hopefully you're just going to sit back and maybe enjoy a nice 2-0 kind of win. It's not going to be as easy or as comfortable as it was before, but hopefully, hopefully it's not too stressful for us, Sue. Hopefully it's not too stressful. Salisu with
I'd like a little bit more of the ball. We haven't really held the ball for anything more than like 4 or 5 second intervals.
No, you're absolutely right. We haven't been able to have any.
He's Adam Armstrong again. He's dangerous. Adam Armstrong looks like he's pretty tricky. Sanchez isn't having the best of times against him so far.
He must have been way offsides, I guess, according to Ben Davies. Threw his arms up right away. But right now, he's getting a lot of space, picking it up in good positions. Mario, Tottenham teacher, saying, Jack, did you see that Premier League is heading to USA Network in 2022? Wow. Kind of crazy, I must say. I thought NBC bought the rights to it, actually, Tottenham teacher. I thought the NBC, kind of reimbursed their rights for it. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought they did actually buy it, though. I thought they did actually, purchase the rights for it. Very expensive contract, so I would assume. But let me know.
Harry Kane first touch again.
Just a bit heavy again from Harry, but he's just absolutely rolling his defenders. Harry Kane
is
absolutely rolling them.
Possession stats, 61% to Southampton, 39% to Tottenham.
If anybody does want to sync up again, we are at 1852, 1853, 1854, 55, 56, 57, 58, and now approaching 19 minutes. If you do want to sync up with us, Region gives the ball away in a decent position there for Southampton, and they're back with holding the ball in deep in our own half.
Don't even get up, referee.
Thank you, referee. Oh,
referee, you can't just fall over, referee, like that. That Kyle Walker-Peters, you can't just fall over.
Region showed him how to do it just right after, I will say.
He did.
Saying, I think Skip is a big miss. I think he could be a huge miss, but I think, we're just probably trying to give him a bit of a rest in this situation. Decent attempt by Eric Dyer. If Harry Kane picked up the ball there, that could have been a great position for us. I think I'd like to see Dele Alli come a bit more into the game. Sean, I feel like he's just been a bit anonymous. But then again,
and Sonny,
probably the whole team has been a bit anonymous apart from Harry Kane, I must say.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, it's a good pass from Davies to Dele Alli. So Southampton are tight. Southampton are playing the midfield two for Southampton, the central two and the back four are incredibly pressed. They press incredibly tight, which puts a lot of pressure on, obviously, on the players. But Harry Kane at the moment is having the only bit of success where he's predicting it, feeling it, and then turning. But I need to see a bit more from Sonny and Dele Alli, Jack, to your point. They're not really with the races just yet this afternoon.
Yeah, and I think that was a good example right there. Højbjerg plays a great pass in Dele Alli's feet and just didn't really seem to know what to do with it. But Dele Alli here again, and he has all the time in the world.
Yeah, what was that? Yeah, what was that, Dele? You had no one around you for 10 feet, and you decide to head the ball aimlessly.
It's
take
like
the ball
the
down.
hope that he gets into it. Emerson in here with a bit of pressure, plays it out wide. I do love these La Liga fullbacks of ours, just going down here, but he's got to get up in this situation.
He's hurt. I'm pretty certain
he's giving the free kick. There we go, Emerson. There we go. Buy us a bit of time. I'm loving the shithousery by both of our former La Liga fullbacks. The shithousery.
I feel like he's going to be fine in about. There's nothing. It did nothing. Oh, he got a back foot glance on his shin. Emerson. What game was it? I was at live when Emerson almost cost us. When he got tackled and he laid down. He tried to cross the ball. I'm trying to think which game it was now. Was it the Aston Villa game? And he got pushed. He got shoved kind of in the chest, and he laid down like he'd been shot, and we almost conceded as a consequence. And all the Tottenham fans were screaming at him to get up because everyone knew what he was doing, and he just looked like an idiot. In the end, he had to get up and kind of apologize and get on with it.
Oh, Harry Kane with a decent touch here. Beautiful touch. Shucking off Bednarek as well. Plays it into Region's feet. Region taking it down the byline. Plays it back to Harry Kane. Harry Kane.
Come on, Harry.
Oh, he's dribbling like a gazelle. Oh, it's beautiful.
Dribbling like a baby.
Oh, he's looking like a fresh horse on the prairie. He is. He's just looking beautiful. Also, look at the hair, everybody. It's absolutely glistening. It's beautiful to see. Joseph saying, come on, you Spurs. Big up, Joseph. Lazy 8, thank you. So did I. Yeah, NBC owns USA Network. So did, yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Thank you, Lazy 8. Thank you very much. I knew I wasn't crazy. Our possession has been poor so far, says William McKenzie. I completely agree,
Yeah.
William. I completely agree. We really need to, be better about keeping the ball and just not giving it away so easily. But then again, that's probably the way that Southampton do play. They play a very intense, kind of German style press. And, often that means that you don't get a lot of the ball at times, especially in the first 20 minutes of the match.
Yeah, first half an hour. Surely Southampton need to score to take advantage of their energy that they're putting into it. They need to get some return. Hopefully they don't.
Emerson, you'd
expect that in the second half.
Yeah,
you'd expect second half that, and maybe that's a good fit for someone like Oliver Skip to then come on and be able to do what he's been doing in recent games, running at the defense and being the Paul Scholes that Tottenham need.
Max saying they're pressing like madmen. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. So maybe we shouldn't be too critical of the team at this moment because they are just absolutely expending all of their energy at this moment. Rolling. 3 out of 10, Emerson. Big yourself up, Kuba.
Who's down this time? Delhi?
Their pressing is killing us because our defenders cannot play out from the back. We keep hoofing it long. Yeah, I think it's probably the fact that they... Wow, that's Salisu.
That's nasty.
Deserves it. Did he get a yellow card?
No, just a warning.
Jeez.
And Salisu, that's the third challenge now. That's the third tackle by Salisu. He can't do that. If he does one more of those, surely he's going to be in the book. And then Tottenham, he can't press as quick, as high, and as strong. He's a bit of a lump, that Salisu, isn't he? Bit of a heavy, big fella. So throw his weight around.
Ishan, you're absolutely spot on, my man. Ishan, you're absolutely spot on. I mean, I think we just don't have enough good ball playing center backs at this moment in time, and it's just
come on, ref! That's Salisu again. He just shoved him to the ground. Salisu's going to get a red card in this game.
Emerson.
I'm making a prediction, Jackie. Salisu's going off in the 68th minute.
Well, he needs to get a yellow card in the first half. That's what needs to be happening.
He's a big guy. He's got a lot of weight behind him. He's he
just kind of manhandled Dele Alli there for sure. He's going in for a long throw-in in here into the Southampton box. Seems to be their throw-in specialist.
Rid of it! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh.
Ward-Prowse.
Good hit by James Ward-Prowse, I must be honest. A great hit. Threw a bunch of bodies as well. Hits it through a bunch of our defenders. No one puts in the block. And then, Lloris probably didn't have any sort of angle or any sort of vision on it. And it just hits the back of the net. A decent hit by James Ward-Prowse really as well. Very good hit. Yeah, it goes through a bunch of our own defenders as well.
Oh, it's a good finish.
Did it get? I don't think it even got deflected.
Oh,
not even deflected. Yeah, no one put it in the block in.
Wow.
Eric Dyer. If he maybe just stood his ground a little bit there, Eric Dyer could have probably chested it or could have probably shouldered it off a bit. He did kind of duck out of the way there. He was the person directly in line with it.
Changes the dynamic now. Southampton have got something to protect. Tottenham need to wake up.
And this gives them the momentum as well. Southampton. They're definitely, seeing the results of their pressing and seeing the results of their high intensity style at the moment. This does encourage them. William McKenzie saying our midfield is under huge pressure. Yeah, I mean, the midfield is.
That's him again. Yellow card, please, Salisu. Yes. He's going off, Jackie. I'm telling you, he's going off in this game. That's 8 free kicks he's conceded.
I think it's going to be Harry Kane that's going to get him sent off because he's going to roll him at one stage and then, he's just going to get sent off. Well done by Emerson there.
He's a big, clumsy player. He's aggressive and he's playing the press. He's just over the top. He goes in. And the second before that, Dele Alli could have fallen over and won another free kick. I think Salisu's going to go down to 10 men.
True Sets Free said it was a free strike. He had an hour to set it up. And I think. Yeah. Oh, good tackle. Good tackle by their fullback. Well done, Højbjerg. Just showing him the weight room. Just showing him the weight room there, Højbjerg. Dele Alli needs to pick his head up when receiving it, though. It's a shocking.
That's a useless ball.
Sometimes our
Harry Winks.
midfield has all the time in the world, though, I must say. Like, even though I know they're being pressed, they sometimes have all the time in the world. Dele Alli here, for example, seems to not know what to do with it when he picks up the ball there.
But also just
Emerson
watch
plays
Salisu
it
now.
into Harry Winks. Harry Winks looking for a pass. Really
We're fine here, boys.
shocking
We're
pass
fine
there.
here, boys. Salisu
Oh.
Salisu's not sure what to do anymore. In the last 2 times we had the ball forward, he stepped off. He didn't know what to do. If he didn't have that yellow card, he'd have been right in Dele Alli and Harry Kane's face, and he couldn't be.
Well done, Emerson.
Go on, Harry.
There you go, Dele. Play. What are these passes? Well, keep them on the floor. Harry Winks. Why are they skipping off the ground when he's?
That's him again. That's not him again. Oh no, sorry.
Harry Winks needs. Why are these such hospital passes from Harry Winks? Like, they need to actually. Why is he playing? Why are they skipping on the floor? They need to be flat and on the floor here. But well shielded by Harry Winks.
Well shielded.
And he gets trampled on as well.
I think we're fine
Jordan
here, guys.
Stevens saying they deserve it. We've been poor.
Yeah, but I think we're going to be fine now. I think Tottenham are realizing the aggression that they're doing, and we're trying to draw fouls. And I think that with a couple more yellow cards, Southampton are not going to be able to play the same way, and that's going to open up more space. And then technically, we're far better than them. They deserve that. They deserve the lead, but I think that we'll be from now on. It's Tottenham's game.
Harry Kane going for a strike here from distance. By the looks of it, that could be interesting, especially maybe a certain Eric Dyer I'd probably like to see behind it, I must say. But, Harry Kane's going for it. I guess he's feeling himself. Ribsy85 saying, thankfully, they're picking up a lot of cards. Ribsy, you and Sean have been on that. That is a good thing to see, though. That is a good thing to see, especially because Walker Peters already has a card as well.
It's too far for a shot.
Yeah, it does seem a bit far. I feel like I'd rather go for a dink here. But Harry Kane, ooh. Good hit, actually. Good hit. Yeah, Island Life, I agree. It was a bit disappointing. I thought that could have been kind of prevented, that James Ward-Prowse shot. Seems like it went through so many bodies. Like, at least someone could have, been brave enough to maybe put their body on the line for it. It did feel that way, Island Life. I completely agree. Why do we think this was going to be an easy game? I don't think we were, especially on the fan show last night. I did ask that as one of the questions. I do even have it still written down right here. Are we underestimating Southampton maybe for this one? So Brian Maguire, I would say, at least on this channel, we definitely did not think this was going to be too easy.
Referee! It's another one.
A bit late.
Come on, ref. You got to nip this in the bud.
Dark Sun G saying last season we went 1-0 down and then came back. Come on, you Spurs. There you go, yeah. Dark Sun G, the photographic memory, the historian. So he is the historian of all results, all fixtures, all goals, all happenings. Dark Sun G. There you go.
I agree, Dark Sun G.
I think that's fine. Also, to be honest, Watford, they West Ham have gone up on Watford as well. They went 1-0 down. So.
Oh, Southampton keeper gets a yellow. Southampton manager gets a yellow. It's all going to happen. There's going to be cards galore.
His eyes are a bit red as well. It looks like he's tearing up a little bit as well from that yellow card, from that talking to from the referee. Ball into Harry Kane here. Harry Kane looking for options here. God, he's just so calm on the ball.
Harry Winks, move for him. Please don't revert to type.
Oh, Dele Alli going for a decent flick. Sanchez, you better shoulder him off here. Well done, Sanchez.
Well done, Debo.
There you go. Plays it into Højbjerg's feet. Højbjerg, got time. Region, that's a bit of... There we go. Well done, boys. Oh, Sonny. Here we go. Come
on, Pierre.
Ben Davies plays it out wide to Harry. Harry went.
Another one,
sir!
It's a yellow card, though, please. We're going to come back for that yellow card at the end.
Play it, Reggie. You have 2 through the middle there. Just use the outside of your foot. You have 2 through the middle there. Oh, that's shameful.
Oh, no.
Lloris coming out.
Yeah.
Well done, Lloris. Jeez, that is shameful.
Can we go back to that yellow card, please, referee? That was a nasty little challenge.
Completely agree, Dark Sun G, and absolutely loving it. There was a great passage of play right there. I mean, we absolutely should have done better in those situations. Absolutely.
Jack, what do you think? Harry Winks looks like he's back to his old self, sideways passing. He hasn't. He's not trying the same Harry Winks that's against Liverpool.
I think it's not even that. It's not even that I've noticed as much as sideways passing. It's just like people think that sometimes he's an excellent passer of the ball, and I've kind of yet to really agree with that, because there have been moments when he plays it and it's like it skips into Harry Kane's foot. When you think about it, right, where he plays it when it should just be flat on the floor, well weighted, and he plays like a skipping, kind of bit of a hospital kind of weighted pass. Dele Alli, Jesus, what do you think?
What are you doing, Dele?
That is the slowest step over I've also ever seen in my life. But I don't know. Sometimes the quality of his passes are not as great because there have been times when he plays it into Harry Kane's feet, and it's just such a harder ball than it needs to be. Dele Alli, played by Harry Kane here.
Ooh, well played, though. It's all right. Good practice.
I would say
Come
Harry
on,
Kane is
Tottenham.
the one that's keeping us in it at this moment in time. He's just absolutely facilitating, and he's doing all the work that Dele Alli should be doing in the midfield, actually, Harry Kane is. And it looks like he's been feeling like he needs to drop deep.
Yeah.
Here we go, though. Emerson.
Ooh. Ref, how you?
I think he went down a bit easily there, to be honest.
Yeah, you don't want to overplay. You don't want to overdraw it, do you? The ref will start to think that
it's
you're
not
just
being
playing
played
for
what
it.
the referee is.
Oh, I don't know. That did look like it was. It also
Dare
wasn't a
saying,
handball.
get Dele off. Where is he playing? I mean, I think Harry Winks and Dele Alli have been a bit shocking. And, as David and I like to say, to put to a degree, the usual suspects. Dele Alli, for me, Sean, just been anonymous, just slow on the ball, doesn't know what to do with it before he receives it. Harry Winks, the passing has just not, he's supposed to be an excellent distributor. He's supposed to be, a very technically gifted, passer and footballer, but we've yet to see it, I think, this match. And that there are my two thoughts. Which one would you probably get Dele off, or would you get Harry Winks off?
I want to be proactive. I'd like to see them both. I don't know if you want to do it before halftime. You give them until halftime to change it round, but you don't wait until the 60th minute. I think they both need to go. I think you bring Skippy on. I think you need Lucas Moura to create something. Lucas Moura, if Southampton can continue the press the way they have been, drawing fouls, I think Lucas Moura would be a perfect addition to our attacking options. So Dele Alli for me has to go, and I'd get rid of Winksy and bring on Skippy. Get back to the tight 11 that we know that's been working well.
Yeah,
and do it as soon as possible.
George Hill saying, see what happens with our midfield. That's Skippy. No, it's kind of similar to the Leeds United match where we played Winks against a team, a decent ball in. We played Winks against a team that's very good at high pressing, very good at, winning the ball back. God, Dele Alli again. That's a shocking pass. But if you remember the Leeds United match, Sean, another team that pressed us very high, another team that, played very intense, very high pressing sort of football. And we also played Harry Winks in that match, and he really did struggle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it seems like it's a bit of a common scenario where maybe against smaller teams that work very hard off the ball, Harry Winks doesn't necessarily like that.
I'm not entirely sure why.
Well done, Emerson.
Oh, well played. Go on, Sonny. First touch, please.
Oh, you have Emerson? Oh, he had Emerson wide. Oh, he had Emerson wide.
Another
decent
bad
touch
first
by
touch.
Sonny.
His first touch though was he should have let it go under his feet. He didn't. Instead, he pulled it back.
Yeah, you're right. He had Emerson wide here as well. If he was, it looked like he did see it. Yeah, he did. He decided to go for himself there. But yeah, and my feeling is, George, I just feel like, we remember that Leeds United match where Harry Winks played alongside Højbjerg and he just was absolutely useless. And I think it's a similar scenario here. Ball out wide to their fullback. And again, Southampton with a, very deep inside our own half here. Very deep inside our own half. Kyle Walker-Peters recycles it back to Diallo, back to Ward-Prowse. Diallo again. Salisu here with the ball, plays it out wide to their fullback Perot. Plays it into Adam Armstrong. Ball in.
Oh, well done, Reggie.
Well done, Reggie.
Get there, close it down, Harry Winks. Well done, Dele Alli. I don't like this. It doesn't feel good.
There you go, Sonny.
Oh, so unlucky. Hits Harry Kane's back of his heels as he's trying to let it through. Get back, Dele Alli. What about you, Jack? If we agree that we'd like to see Lucas and Skippy, when do you make the change? Do you do it half-time? Do you do it straight away afterwards? Do you do it before half-time? Do you want to be super proactive, super embarrassment?
I think you take off Dele Alli and put on Lucas, to be honest. I think Dele Alli is, he's not proving his worth, in this situation. I think maybe, right, Lucas Moura, of course, he probably wanted to rest him, but he's getting 45 minutes of rest right now. And I think you bring him on just to, because he would be picking it up in these half spaces where Dele Alli should be, and he'd be definitely doing a whole lot more with it, I must say. So I would, you could almost keep the same sort of shape of a front two, and then just have Lucas Moura in behind them. And I think it'd be a whole lot better. Bit of a shocking pass by Ben Davies. He did not need to do that. Play it back in Lloris, but he plays it long to Harry Kane.
Referee!
Harry Kane rolls him again. All right, Hoyt. Oh, Højbjerg played the pass. Here we go. Winksy. Oh, Dele.
Referee, you've got to go back to that. Harry Kane was thrown to the floor again.
Dele Alli also has no pace in behind anymore as well, which is also kind of the issue. So he needs to time his runs, but he always gets caught up with as well, which is a big problem.
The referee plays advantage.
Harry Kane's touch today has been spectacular, I must say.
Yeah.
He hasn't. He's only had like one poor touch, and that was on that Harry Winks opportunity. But Højbjerg, that's got to be better. That's got to be better. Shane Long receives it here. Eric Dyer shoves him out. Beautiful to see Eric Dyer.
Shut up, Southampton.
Winks on the ball.
Wow.
Plays it backwards to Lloris. Lloris, don't go long. Please don't go long. All right. Well, he plays it into Sonny. Goes out of bounds for a throw-in. Tottenham Tantrum Gold saying, take Dele Winks off now. Take Dele and Winks off now. Dyer, turn away for the goal. Come on, Spurs, wake up. The hitman needs to get into them at halftime. Come on, you Spurs. I mean, the hitman better get into them. Better be giving them that. Honestly, better be giving them that talking to. He needs to show them exactly what these players are supposed to be doing out there. But Harry Winks plays the ball into Sonny.
Good, Sonny!
Behind.
Penalty! And it's a red card! That's got to be him. He's off. He has to be off. He's off. I told you. I do it.
Come on!
Come on!
Oh, Sean, what a prediction. What a prediction. He should have thrown a fiver on it. He should have thrown a fiver on it. That was spectacular.
He's so clumsy. He is such a clumsy player.
What a buffoon. What a buffoon.
I mean, he's a physical specimen.
Done, Sonny. Nice
he's an
one,
absolute
Sonny.
beast. He's a beast of a man. But my God, is he clumsy. It's been coming.
Shocking. That is shocking. What,
Jack, if I'm not mistaken, I also think I called a sending off for Zaha against Crystal Palace as well. I'm pretty sure
I think you probably have, considering you got the Salisu one spot on. Harry came from the spot as well. This is going to be delicious.
Come on, Tottenham!
I don't know what James Ward-Prowse is doing here. It seems like he wants to take a shot at his own keeper. I mean, I don't. Ward-Prowse, what are you trying to arrange? A round of golf with the referee? Harry Kane from the spot. Here we go. Potentially another, potentially a way to get back into this match, especially considering this is, not been an easy match so far. Harry Kane from the spot here. Referee decides to ice, the goalkeeper here and ice Harry Kane. Referee seems to be a Saints fan. Harry Kane from the spot. Oh, come on, Harry.
The big goalkeeper. Jesus.
Yeah! Upper V's. Harry Kane. Get in. Get in. Pick it out. Harry Kane. There we go. What a finish as well. Absolutely buries it. Absolutely buries it. Sends the keeper the wrong way, but also just makes the absolute uprights lift as well. Beautiful goal, actually. Beautiful hit.
He's a massive goalie. He's almost as tall as that Goggin guy from Italy who plays for Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, no, he is actually. I believe he's 6'8" or something.
Wow.
Foster is. Yeah,
like half a foot
massive.
between him and the...
No, his head looks like it almost hits the bar, actually. Yeah. His head almost looks as tall as the bar. But Tottenham Tantrum Gold, I completely agree. Get Dele and Winks off. I would say maybe potentially Winks did play that pass in behind. So, I'd like to give him a bit of credit here. I would say take
Dele off.
I would say take Dele off, put on Lucas, and then, get the hitman into them. Just like you say, Tottenham Tantrum, big yourself up, Dermot. Hopefully you're keeping well, especially after that Harry Kane. Harry Kane is back. What a finish, everybody.
Southampton need to readjust now, not only because they're down to 10 men, but they can't afford to do the press anymore. And Lucas Moura now is primed to take advantage of a Southampton team that are going to be tired, that are going to have to readjust their defensive setup. It's set for Lucas Moura. Get rid of Dele Alli. I think now probably you can give Harry Winks a bit more time, like you say, Jack. But certainly you want to have Lucas Moura on the pitch right now.
I agree.
Or not right now.
William Kelly saying Sonny needs to wake up. His first touch is poor. I think it has been a bit poor, but then again, he got us that penalty. I guess he did get us that penalty. So well done by Sonny. So hopefully he can, at least improve at least a little bit from there. But I do agree, William Kelly. His first touch has been a bit poor. Dark Sun G saying, I love how we got 3 red cards in a row now. LOL. It's brilliant to see. It's like we're like the new Atletico or something like that with a red card every match. We're just getting into their heads. Clearly, we're causing them to make rash decision making. Dark Sun G. It seems like we're making them, make poor decisions. Honestly, pretty shocking. Absolutely shocking. Sean Butler, live stream legend. He called it again. Truth sets free. Yeah, he called it again. I guess, people are remembering, he seems to, he knows a red card when he sees it. All he has to do, Sean, he just has to look into their eyes and you can see the red card, beneath their iris. You can see it beneath.
That was obvious though with that Salusi. He's just clumsy. He's a big fella. He's just super clumsy. And it was obvious that was coming. But I appreciate that, Truth sets three. Thank you very much, mate.
William Kelly saying you've been a bit hard on Winks. I think I've been a bit hard on Winks. I'll probably take Sean away from the pressure. I've probably been a bit hard on him. I think, like I said, though, that was a beautiful pass in behind, for Sonny. I just thought that, there were moments when he was playing passes into Harry Kane's feet, and I was just like, why on earth was that a hard pass for him? Why on earth was that, not played on the floor, with, a bit of a bit of kind of easiness, or, I don't really know how to put it. He's just playing poor passing. And I think there was a beautiful ball in behind. And he's played some good balls in behind. It's just sometimes the balls that he's played into feet, the balls that he's played short into players' feet have just been a bit rough or a bit kind of hospital-y, if you ask me, William Kelly. But you're probably right. I have been probably a bit harsh on him, my man. Definitely been a bit harsh on him. But we'd like to think
I don't think you have. With respect, William, I think Harry's been poor. He's not been doing much, but then the whole team haven't been particularly great. But I don't think Harry Winks deserves a free pass. I respectfully disagree, William, but big up.
Big up, William Kelly, absolute legend. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. I'll try, especially after that, assist. I must say that Sonny got, or the Harry Winks, got into Sonny. I'll try to look at it with fresh eyes. Emerson needs to play better pass there.
Go on, Harry.
But well done by Harry Winks. Big yourself up, though, William Kelly. Big yourself up, my man.
Interesting. Now Southampton are playing like 10 men or 9 men behind the ball. They're not pushing as aggressively. Oh, go on, Sonny. Oh, are we on the same time, Jack? Are you still at 44, 38 sort of thing? Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. Cool. Exactly. Recycling it back. Eric Dyer plays it out wide to Sanchez. Sanchez could have taken the ball a bit further up there. Harry Winks to Højbjerg. Reggie cuts inside. Oh
no, Reggie. What was that? It's a yellow card. Yeah. Silly.
Was just a poor touch by Reggie.
Yeah, that's okay. Nothing more than a yellow card there.
Faz Radfar saying Winky and Deli have been back to bad habits. I think Deli's been back to bad habits, and the fact that it's just sometimes with Dele Alli, he's consistently been for Spurs, I think, over the last few seasons, despite how little he plays, he's consistently one of the most dispossessed players in the Tottenham team. He actually has incredible statistics, and I mean incredible in the opposite sort of meaning.
Incredibly bad.
Being dispossessed. He doesn't know what to do with the ball before he receives it, and I think this has been a good example of it this match. Harry Winks, I think, is growing into the game and seems to be improving. So maybe I might keep him on. I just say you bring on Lucas. I think you bring on Lucas.
Yeah.
Dele Alli just also shoving a player into the stands there, going a bit of the nasty.
Adam Armstrong, Parode. Whatever.
Dele Alli showing a bit of the nastiness, though, which you do like to see, actually. That's a good asset to his game. Frank's in the building. Big yourself up, Frank. Come on, you Spurs. Hopefully you're keeping well down in sunny Florida. Ribsy saying, be careful, Revy. It's a heavy touch. It happens. No need to follow it up with that terrible tackle. Yeah, I kind of agree, Ribsy. No need. Absolutely no need. Ooh, Dele Alli just gets absolutely destroyed there. It seems like we're going to be going into halftime 1-1 though, Sean. I mean,
yeah,
it's. I think it. 2 degrees Southampton probably have been the better side. Have they had great chances, though, I guess? I think they've dominated the ball in our half, but have they had great chances? You probably like to say not exactly.
No, they had the one chance, the one header from Shane Long at the start early, which I think looked like it was offside, but drifted wide anyway. And then you had Adam Armstrong had another chance but he'd mistimed his jump, and he's a little fella anyway. Look, I think Southampton have certainly had the better chances. I don't remember Tottenham having too much. I think we had a shot from the free kick from Harry Kane. I think we had one more shot from Harry Kane that was from about 25 yards. That was pretty non-eventful, easy save for the keeper. So all in all, I think that a 1-1 result is fair. It probably flatters Tottenham a little bit. But like I say, we've been saying this from the start. Southampton, this is probably what they were hoping for to try and go ahead. But now we've got, everything's in our favor in the next 45, especially if we make some clever substitutions, maybe change a bit of the strategy up a little bit. But I'm still very hopeful that we can go and take 3 points here.
Yeah. Emerson plays ball into Dele Alli here. Dele Alli takes it out wide down the byline. Plays a
what a touch!
Harry Kane.
A lovely turn, and that was probably the end of the
last kick of the game there as well. Last kick of the game. All right, Sean. Talking points here. James Ward-Prowse's goal. Feel like maybe that's just a wonder goal by James Ward-Prowse, or do you feel like that could have actually probably been kind of blocked out, or maybe could have been defended a bit better?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lovely strike. He struck the ball true. I think Hugo Lloris looked like he was beaten anyway, but it looked like he might have been blindsided by the busy box. I think they deserved that. I think they were fair value to go 1-0 up. Yeah. They didn't have too many chances either, but certainly we didn't. And the strike was a great strike. I don't really remember them doing too much else. However, they have put a lot of balls. They've been peppering our box, peppering our back post. We've defended most of them okay, but then when we clear the ball, we don't really clear it long. We kind of just get it out towards the sort of 10 yards outside the 18-yard box, and then they started to come again. So it was frustrating, a very frustrating first half.
Steve D saying it came in from one of those long throw-ins as well, by Salisu. I think, you're probably right, actually, Steve, when I think about it, because, anytime a long throw-in comes in, you just have to realize you have to win the second ball. It's all about winning the second ball. It's all about, because it creates a bit of chaos, usually, that second ball from the long throw-in, especially into your own box or your own penalty area. And we just didn't, we kind of just fell asleep with it. Just no one closed down James Ward-Prowse. And even when James Ward-Prowse hit it, no one decided to kind of just, stand in front of it as well. So, it's just a bit poor defending. But I kind of agree with Sean where, they were the better team. They probably did deserve it, but probably still kind of a preventable goal. Carlos H saying it could have been stopped. Shamu saying, what did I miss? He fell asleep. And then Harry Kane was taking a penalty. That's what happens sometimes, Shamu. Things can happen quite quickly, my man. But who would you probably take off? Would you take off Dele Alli, Sean? Would you put in Lucas Moura? And would you switch then if you were to put in Lucas Moura? Would you switch to that kind of 3-4-3? Would you kind of just basically, would you put Lucas Moura where Dele Alli's been?
No, I think now we're down to 10 men. I think the 3-4-3 makes a ton of sense. Yeah. You don't need to pack the midfield as much. They've lost their one of their men from that area. It depends what Southampton do, but I think Southampton are now going to sit back and try to defend the 1 point that they might have. Definitely think you need Lucas on. One of the guys in the chat here, Anita Okenibiri, I'm not sure if I've said that name correct. He's talking about bringing off Reggie. He thinks he might have a red card in him today. Reggie does look a little bit aggressive. There's been a couple of moments before that yellow card where Reggie was flying in. Him and Walker Peters seem to be having a bit of a battle of their own. So I don't know, Anita, who will be on the bench. Let me just look at we've got the options on the bench are Galini, Doherty, Tanganga, Roden, Skip, White, Ndombele, Lucas, and Brian Hill. So, yeah, Jack, what are your thoughts about Reguilon?
I think that's not a bad shout, honestly, to be honest. I think he, potentially could get a red card, but there have been moments as well, though, where we've seen Reggie, pick up a bad yellow and, is actually still able to marshal, his defender. I think Watford is the one that first brings out to mind him. He shut down, Ismail Assar on the wing And, he had a yellow card quite early against Ismail Assar, but then was able to still keep him quiet. I think the same thing actually happened in Man City's match, if I'm not mistaken, where he, was taking on Joao Cancelo and Riyad Mahrez with a yellow card and was still able to marshal them. So I'd like to keep the faith in Reggie, but I think that's a really, it's a very valid fear. It's a very valid worry, I must say. But I
think he'll calm down. I don't think Kyle Walker-Peters is going to spend too much time offensively anymore. I think they're going to be now sitting right back. So
but that is the big risk, though. That is the big risk. You don't want to equalize with red cards. You want to keep that advantage with the 11 men. You want to, especially with our wide wing backs, where we'll probably have even more space out on the wings now that, they did lose their center back. They'll probably have even more space now. They probably have to take off a midfielder, maybe take off, a striker. So we will probably have even more space out wide or somewhere in the park. And so maybe keeping, a player with a really good delivery like Reguilon is probably necessary. You're just going to have his wits about him. It's going to have his wits about him. Dark Sun G saying Son will score in the second half. 3 points. Here we come. I would love to see Sonny score. I think Sonny absolutely deserves one. I think it's a matter of time until Harry Kane, rolls his man. He's rolled so many men tonight. Honestly, he can make a whole, bread of dough. He can make a whole, loaf of bread with how many players he's rolled tonight. But he just needs to just weight that ball a bit better, maybe on one of these for Sonny, and then Sonny can be in behind with a one-on-one with Craig Foster, and then be able to put it into the back of the net. So,
Jack, did Southampton make any substitutions after Salisu went off? I didn't see if they did.
No, I don't think they did. I did not see any.
Okay.
I bet they will probably going into the next half, though. They definitely should. But who's? It's hard to say. I must say it's hard to say, but I think Harry Kane and Sonny will probably find some sort of connection. I think even keeping the two up top, is not a bad sort of way to go about it. But I think if you put in Lucas Moura, that really will create havoc, because we know if they have fewer men, Lucas Moura, let's say he skins one or two people, he then is able to, create maybe a bit of a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1 situation, and then, be able to probably play it in behind for someone like Harry Kane or Sonny, or vice versa. We also know that Lucas Moura has plenty more pace than Dele Alli does. And there have been moments where Harry Kane has been trying to play it in behind for Dele Alli, and Dele Alli just doesn't have the legs or the pace to be able to get there. So I think Lucas Moura is just the necessary substitution. I think he is the necessary substitution. But Dark Sun G, I'd love to see Sonny score. David's in the comments saying he's just absolutely winding. He's just, he's kept the faith with Harry Kane. He's kept the faith with Harry Kane. So he has. Big up, Dave. Hopefully you're keeping well watching the game with the Out Loud, my man. Joe Verspoot saying Winks out for Skip. Do you feel like Winks needs to be taken off? I feel like he's, maybe grown into the game a bit more. It pains me to say, but, I think he's gotten a bit better.
I'd give him 15 more minutes at the moment. If you are going to make a change to get more aggressive and go to the 3-4-3, then the only substitution that's necessary right now, as we keep saying, I think is Lucas Moura for Dele Alli. The only other absolute certainty from what we've seen so far is anybody that thought Dele Alli had turned a corner after his Liverpool game and suddenly didn't want to sell him. No, sorry. Today's just proven that he's back to he's
back to his old habits.
He's got the he can pull it out of the bag for a big game when it's on, when the game's on the telly and everyone's watching. But I think he needs to be sold to Newcastle next week on January the 1st. That'll be the best New Year's present we could get.
A lot of people are saying Winks should go off, and I kind of I want to agree, but I feel like, just to be kind of neutral on it, I think you do keep on Harry Winks. I don't think it's a necessary substitution. I would love to see Skippy come on. Believe me, I would much rather have Skippy, but I feel like we could still give Harry Winks a bit of a chance in this one. I think it is Dele Alli, as David said, the walking Christmas tree needs to be needs to be taken off. He's just back to his old habits. Gogama saying Kane is the penalty king. I mean, honestly, absolutely buried it. Probably put a hole in the back of the net. I mean, they need to probably check, just to make sure that, nobody behind the stands, gets hurt for the next goal that goes in the back of their net, because seriously, put a hole in it. He really did. Absolutely beautiful finish. Absolutely beautiful finish. And
it wasn't just that. It was I think Harry Kane sat there, looked at the size of that keeper, and had flashbacks to the Euro final when we played Italy, and saw that when you've got a goalkeeper who's 6'7", 6'8", however tall that guy is, you can't hit the ball. You have to bury it. You have to hit it high, because the guy's going to dive left or right, and his body length is going to take up most of the goal. So it's a guesswork at best. Whereas if you hit it and you hit it hard and high, you have to hit it exactly. So I think it was very smart. It was not only was it a great strike, I think it was a very intelligent penalty that he took, and
wow, great
got us
analysis
back
there,
into the
Sean.
game.
Great analysis on the penalties. A bit of a penalty expert here over. Kane is back, according to Peter Kipp. But maybe another talking point, Sean, is now that they're down to 10 men. Do you feel like can Southampton sustain this sort of high pressure? Will they kind of just change their style completely? Do you see them sitting back a bit more? And what does that mean maybe for Spurs? Do you see them going for the same sort of approach, Southampton, or will they kind of change their style up?
No, well, I mean, to answer your first question, that they definitely can't sustain the press. They're definitely now going to go just to a sit back, absorb. And we're going to have, I think if you look at the possession stacks, I would imagine, unless something silly happens that changes this, I would imagine that you'll see Tottenham have 75% of possession in the second half. And it will be just a situation of, can we break them down? And which is for that purpose only, you need the players that are the best at threading passes, or you need the best players that are quick, that can turn, that can move. So maybe Ndombele is a good shout at some point in the latter stages of the game. If you need someone, I don't particularly like Ndombele, but in a game where we're not going to, I would imagine that we're not going to be defending as much. It's not going to be quite as open, and we're going to have the ball. Maybe someone like him who can thread a pass, maybe his technique on the ball is something we could look into in the last 10, 15 minutes of the game if we need it. But yeah, for me, I think that they're going to sit back and just try and hold on now.
I think that's if it wasn't Lucas, I think you bring on Lucas. I think that's the necessary move.
He's definitely first.
But if you don't, and you go for something else where maybe you want to keep this sort of 3-4-1-2 shape, I think you do put on Tanguy instead of Dele, because at least with Tanguy, I'm pretty sure he would know what to do with the ball before he receives it, in comparison to someone like a Dele Alli. And then as well, I think he has a better pass than Dele Alli does. It's just whether, and I guess when they're down to 10 men, it's not like you really need Tanguy necessarily to track back and help out the midfield. So probably is kind of set up for Tanguy, to be honest. But whether he'll actually deliver is the real question. But I think we obviously have said and made it very clear that the person we would like to see on is Lucas Moura, because we just know that he would be able to create more chaos than probably any other player. In terms of maybe, the defense, how do you feel like they've kind of handled Southampton? It feels like, like we said, Southampton, they've really dominated the ball in our half, which is probably having to do with, us losing the ball quite easily. But, has the defense, been okay for you? How have they kind of marshaled Southampton?
It's not been fantastic. I mean, on an individual basis, I feel like that. I mean, and again, I'd have to. It's a real difficult skill, Jack, to watch a game, to observe what's going on, and also commentate on it. Like it's bloody difficult, right? But from memory, and I'm sure other people that are watching might correct me, but I feel like I was worried about Adam Armstrong. I feel like he had a good early period of the game, and his natural opposite number was Sanchez. So, but again, like it's difficult to pick out whether or not there was any specific mistakes that Sanchez made. I'd have to look at the replays after the game.
I think they've just been giving the ball away a bit too easily.
It's been sloppy distribution from the defense. Yeah.
But weirdly, I don't, as much as I know that Southampton have dominated the ball in our own half, I don't feel like they've really created a whole lot, to be honest. And so that's what's kind of interesting. It's a bit oxymoronic when you think about it, because they've dominated us our own half, but they really haven't had any clear-cut chances that they've kind of manifested or created, which is probably credit to the defense. At the same time, though, it seems like we've been very, very poor at, clearing the ball and kind of being able to lead a sort of counterattack, from, the deep spaces in our own half. And sometimes we saw that against Liverpool. We saw that against Leeds, where we actually did quite well when teams pressed us very high up the pitch, because then we just had more space in behind for Sonny and Lucas and other players. But maybe that's part of the reason why we've actually struggled, to get out of our own half, is maybe because someone like Lucas Moura isn't on the pitch, to receive the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking on these various podcasts now for 4 or 5 months, and there's only a couple of things that I won't ever stop saying out loud, and that is how much I value Lucas Moura. I always thought that Tottenham could have and should have built a team around him at one point a couple of years ago. I've always thought he's just a superb talent, and at the moment this season, building on the second half of last season when Tottenham fell apart after Christmas, Lucas Moura was the one bright spark that kept my hopes up that we could always do things, and he's carried that form into this season. He's just a phenomenal talent, and he's a lovely fella as well. So to me, not having him on the pitch today, it's telling. It's definitely it's a and like I say, it's just, hopefully Conte feels the same as we do, and he makes a change early. Jack, I do have to say to you, somehow I pressed the pause button on my Amazon stream, so I no longer know where I'm up to on the time. So can you tell me when the game game hasn't restarted yet? Has it?
No, it has not for me. For me yet. I haven't done anything to mine, so I think I'll let you know when I'm back into it. In terms of Lucas Moura, I think he just will be able to offer so much more than Dele Alli, and that simply is just also that release ball, that ball in behind, which just Dele Alli just doesn't have. He doesn't have the pace, he doesn't have the strength, or even that Lucas Moura, because even Lucas Moura has a bit of strength on him as well, to kind of get past players. And just feel like Dele Alli's just been really, really poor, to be honest. And he's been probably one of the most dispossessed players, I must say, as well, probably this match. But I think, what's important now as well is just having players that know what to do with the ball in possession now that they're down to 10 men, Southampton. So hopefully we'll be able to take advantage of that. To be honest, in terms of maybe the midfield, a lot of people are calling for Skippy to come on. My feeling is that maybe you bring on Skippy. If you are bringing on Lucas Moura and switching to a 3-4-3, maybe you do put on Skippy, I guess, for Winks, because then in case there were to be some sort of, counterattack led by Southampton, we know that Skippy and Højbjerg, together are very good at being able to kind of snuff out any sort of danger. It does look like they're about to kick off for me, Sean.
Okay. Oh, so
I'll let you know when.
Yeah. Tell me when they've kicked the ball.
They just kicked the ball.
Okay.
I'll let you know if you need
Is that
me
Matt
to pause
Doherty on the pitch?
It does look like Matt Doherty, and it looks like Matt Doherty has come on.
In place of...
Come on for Region, it looks like. Yeah, come on for Region. So I think it was Steve D, I believe, in the comments who made that, comment before. It seems like, we're taking the risk. We want to keep our 11 men.
Yep.
But it looks like Dele Alli's still on, which is a bit of a concern, I must say. But then again, how many times has Dele Alli been subbed off at halftime and then he just goes missing for the next few months? So maybe, Conte's giving him a 15 minutes of chance. Maybe he's giving him 15 minutes just to see if he can play a bit better. But yeah, Matt Doherty, everybody, is on the pitch. Matt Doherty is on the pitch.
Wow. Okay, so I'm at 45-53. Is that about right for you?
I'm exactly there. I'm there. I'm at 55, 56, 57, 58, now approaching 46.
Perfect.
Harry Winks plays it into Dyer's feet. Dyer in the middle of that libero role, plays it out wide to Ben Davies, who plays it to Matt Doherty, cutting inside, plays it into Højbjerg. Højbjerg plays it to Harry Kane. Decent Emerson was sitting on the shoulder there. Højbjerg just gets absolutely shoved. Looks like, they got punched in the stomach there by whoever that was, to be honest. Goguma saying Conte will revive us with the halftime talk. Yeah, with the halftime talk with the hitman as well, Goguma. The hitman probably was laying into them, I must say. And he better have been, because it was a very, very shocking start. Maybe to be expected, considering we are away from home. It's not going to be as easy. We can't start off as hot and heavy as we probably like to. And we've grown into the game, that's for sure. But yeah, I definitely hope that Antonio Conte was ripping into them in the halftime, because they need to take advantage of this situation. We were able to get one of their center backs sent off. And so this is a great opportunity for us to take control of this match. Eric Dyer with a bit of composure there. Well done, Eric. Doherty taking it up the pitch. Jesus, I mean, and Doherty is not, well, we'll see how he grows into it. But that was a bit of a shocking pass.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Playing, I guess it's because Reguilon played 90 minutes as well on...
This is a great example, though, of when you play the outball to Dele Alli, it's like playing it into a tree trunk sometimes. It's just watching. It's just so slow.
So slow.
We'll see how it goes, though. But yeah, decent opportunity there earlier for Harry Kane to try to slide in Emerson. That could have been a good chance. But I mean, I will say Harry Kane's first touch tonight has been unbelievable. I will say he's not had a poor touch, to be honest, and it really has been, just helped us out tremendously. I would say hopefully they can find Emerson out here. He's had good position there earlier. He's picking up, very good positions out wide. Emerson. He's kind of sitting on the last man, beats his man, plays a shocking ball in.
Yeah.
Seems like he tried to dink it into
well tackled, Sanchez. Nice. Jack, do you think they took Reguilon off because of the yellow card, because he's got an injury, or do you think because he's slightly exhausted after playing 90 minutes against Palace just 48 hours ago?
Could be a bit of the exhaustion. You might be right, but I think Antonio Conte doesn't want to take any risks. I think it was poor pass by Sonny.
Sonny loses the ball.
Armstrong here getting surrounded, absolutely swarmed, and somehow he gets out of that. That's a shame. He cannot get out of that.
Swarm of bees, wasn't
it? Yeah, but he's not allowed to get out of that. You should not be able to get out of that situation. But back to Spurs here. It seems like Southampton will have to rely on that. We'll have to rely on some sort of counterattack and be able to make the right pass. But that certainly did not help. Sonny, that's a poor pass by Højbjerg, a bit of a hospital. Plays it out wide though to Doherty. Well, Doherty is slow as well. Jesus. Plays it back to Højbjerg. Sonny picking up the half space. Plays it out wide to Emerson.
Go on, Emerson, first time.
Took a bit of a high skip there. It's got to be.
Did take a high skip, didn't it? Yeah.
You would have to kind of karate kick that one back into the 18. But Gogama, hopefully that halftime talk was able to give them, the motivation that they need. Hopefully it's given the motivation they need. But Matt Doherty, do you feel like, he could take advantage of this opportunity at left wing back, Sean? How do you feel about it? And again, I think it just has to do with, not taking the risk. We want to keep 11 men, we want to have that advantage. But can Matt Doherty be someone to take advantage of it?
Not offensively. He's very right-footed, isn't he? I don't feel like I've ever seen him touch the ball with his left foot. So every time he does get the ball, he's going to, if he does come forward, he's going to have to pull it in on his inside. It'll be quite predictable. We've seen him play left back or left wing back once before. Earlier this season, maybe twice before, but I remember him playing once before, and it was fairly ineffective, very ineffective. So I feel like we're going to have to push down the right-hand side or go central. If you...
Raf, that was a bit naughty.
Another yellow card?
Raf. It seemed a bit naughty there. He tried to track back. Emerson, I will say, is picking up fantastic positions and is really pulling away their strikers here. But that seemed a bit late. Ooh, Jesus, referee. You got to take control here. Again, the MMA was last night, referee. We got to take control here of the match.
It's a nasty challenge. That really is.
Hopefully
if his foot was planted, then that could have been a yellow card.
Yeah, he got a yellow card. All right, that's good to see. Another yellow card for a Southampton player, which is good to see. And Kyle Walker-Peters still has a yellow card as well.
Yep. Come on, Sonny.
Ball in by Sonny.
Oh! It looked like an awful free kick, though. No,
it certainly did. And Eric Dyer definitely did the best with it.
It's offside again.
Southampton, fantastic at holding the line.
They really are very good at holding the line, aren't they?
Yet again, he would have been offsides there.
4 players were offside.
Perot taking it down the wing, being tracked down by Dele Alli. Plays it back to, I believe, Tella. And I think that was Diallo. Plays back to the keeper. Keeper sends it long. Well won by Shane Long. Shane Long is good in the air.
Well done. Come on, Tottenham. Push out now. Push out. Dele, make a run. Go on, son.
It's just he is running in quicksand, like Neil Shafton said in the comments. He's just in quicksand sometimes, Dele Alli. He's so much weight behind him. Harry Winks with a beautiful ball into Harry Kane.
Wow! Wow!
He's
Where did that come from?
On the pitch.
Harry Winks!
The best player on the pitch. He's one of our own. It's Harry Kane with the brace. Come on! Come on!
Oh, it's offside, is it? Oh, no, it's onside.
No,
that's onside. No, that's onside.
Bednarek. I think it's Bednarek keeping him on there. He has to be onsides there.
Who was calling for Harry Winks to be taken off? Name and shame!
What a pass. What a dink by Harry Winks.
Never in doubt.
William Kelly, we've been too harsh on him. You're absolutely another great prediction. Sean Butler with the red card prediction and William Kelly with the Harry Winks prediction. Well done, William Kelly. I must say, well done.
What a finish. What a first touch. Harry Kane has
please
been
don't be
sublime
off.
today.
Please
Amongst
don't
the
be
10,
off.
amongst the Tottenham team that have been pretty woeful, Harry Kane has stood out. He's back, baby. He is back.
Please don't tell me.
Oh, no, it's
Oh,
been taken
no.
away.
There's no way. Oh, that's just ridiculous.
Oh,
I swear Bednarak was the one keeping him on there.
it looked like he's on. Where's
See,
the...
look at it.
How is that off?
He looks
can
he looks
see
like
the line.
Bednarak
He
is
looks-
keeping him on there.
He looks miles on. Oh, his shoulder.
Oh, Jesus, it's just like the Liverpool thing with Sonny at one stage. It's like, apparently if you didn't trim your nose hairs, it can be offsides.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That's just ridiculous. All right, we got to keep strong, though, here. We got to continue. Oh, geez.
No. Oh, no.
Matt Doherty getting burned there. Plays it to Ward-Prowse. Off by a toenail, says Neil Shafton. I really do agree. Harry Kane with a beautiful pass and gets absolutely destroyed there. He needs to be sent off, whoever that was. One-on-one with Sonny here. Oh. Well defended. William Kelly say, look at that ball by Winks. Told you, boys, don't knock him down. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, William Kelly. You called it, my man. It's a beautiful pass by Harry Winks. Absolutely beautifully weighted.
It was lovely.
But I still don't. William Kelly did not actually. Seriously, I know this sounds biased, but like it seems like this season, those sort of offsides calls were not, aren't given, because it's just the whole, like, if his arm is offsides, it's not really offsides. That's what seems like has been often the case here. They kind of give the striker the benefit of the doubt. Whereas if, the majority of his body is behind, the defender, they usually don't give it. It seems like that was an exception. I don't know. Maybe it's just extreme bias there. But I don't know. It just did not really seem offsides to me.
I'm at the point with the VAR. I'd rather we remove the whole thing. Go back to the days where there was,
mistakes made and
human error. Yeah, but you kind of hope that over the course of a couple of seasons, you win as many as you lose. But
yeah,
this stuff is there's nothing worse than celebrating a goal and then it getting taken away.
Yeah. Harry Winks on the ball again here. Plays it into Højbjerg. Højbjerg finds Harry Kane. Well done, Harry. Just absolutely rolling him. Oh,
it's a good turn.
Well done, Dele.
Well done, Eric
Yes,
Dyer.
Eric.
Well done.
Keep it here. Sonny, good
Spread
touch.
it, Sonny.
There we go. Emerson.
First time.
Oh,
no,
Emerson, you got to play that?
No, he's not going to. When there's a defender in front of him, he doesn't know what to do.
He doesn't know, exactly. He really doesn't. William Kelly, though, I mean, absolutely beautiful. There's actually a peach of a ball. It really was. And I still don't think William Kelly, that was offside. I know, call me crazy, but I don't think that was. Thank you, William Kelly. Thank you for, proving to us that, Harry Winks probably deserves to still be on this pitch. Big yourself up. Harry Winks plays it back to Sonny. Sonny with a one-on-one here. Oh, absolutely burns this man here. Plays it. Goes out for another corner.
I'm devastated. I was like, I'm sweating. I was so excited. It's taken away.
I don't know. That feels hard done by. That really feels hard done by, that goal. That just feels painful. Sonny in here. Ball.
Carbon copy corner from Sonny and Winks.
Sonny's asking somebody to be at the near post there. So maybe that was intentional. He needed somebody to be at the near post. Emerson for the throw in. Plays it in Harry Winks. Harry Winks finds Højbjerg.
I think you've got to bring on Lucas anytime now.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing with Matt Doherty, every time he's going to receive it, he's never going to look to try to take on his man. Which is the other problem as well.
She's going to pull the ball back, isn't he? And it's well done,
oh, Sanchez.
Sanchez, the new Pele. Well done,
done, Eric Dyer. Well done. Here we go. Højbjerg plays it out wide to Doherty. He's just going to turn inside every time and just play that pass. Yep. He's just going to play way too safe. He's going to play way too safe.
I don't understand why he's not a Premier League level footballer, in my opinion.
No, I think we all know that, but you can thank Steve Hitcham for that purchase.
Yeah. We paid a lot of money
Winks.
for him as well, didn't we?
Yeah, I know. It's rated as
Like
one of our
20
worst
million or
signings.
something. Yeah.
I think it was 14 or 15. I think it was around Joe
Yeah.
Rodon's price. Yeah. Here we go. Doherty again. Maybe you can prove us wrong.
Did he do something this time? No.
Plays the same pass. Gonna play that same pass all day. Davies!
Oh, Sonny! Another corner kick.
All right, keeping the pressure on here, Tottenham Hotspur. All right, let's keep it up. Let's keep up the pressure. We're deep in their half. They're not getting out of their own half at the moment.
Oh, it's a nice
I definitely see us scoring a goal here. I definitely see us scoring a goal here sometime soon. We're really deep in their own half.
3-1. I think we're going to end up 3-1 up, but it's going to be frustrating for the next little while.
Neil Shafton saying Harry Kane should have manscaped and he would have been able to, been on sides there. I completely agree, Neil. Completely agree. Harry Winks here out on the top of the 18, plays it back to Sonny. Sonny 1-on-1 with Peters. Plays it back to Harry Winks. Harry Winks with a little dink ball, a little too much on it. William Kelly says, how lethal has Kane been? He has been unbelievably lethal. Yeah. Unbelievably. Like that was a spectacular finish and a spectacular touch. His first touch, William Kelly, has been absolutely gorgeous today. He has had beautiful first touch today. He has been an absolute leader by example. He's been a leader on the pitch, but also has been leading by example. He's yet to have, in my opinion, a poor touch, which just really speaks to, I don't think he's really put much of a foot wrong this match. Harry Kane has. He's been, the shining light and not a very good performance. He's been a shining light and a pretty poor performance. Kyle Walker-Peters, though, 1-on-1 with Doherty here.
Get a bit. Turn, Sonny.
We're well done, Harry. Loses the ball.
Come on, ref!
A bit scary there. That was a bit scary. Yeah, but he's been absolutely lethal, William, and only a matter of time, boys. It's coming. No, I hope it is coming. I really do, William Kelly. I really do. I hope it is coming, my man. It needs to be coming. But we just need to keep the pressure on and keep the ball in their own half, especially these possessions. We need to win the ball back here. We do need to win the ball back. We can't let them waste time in these sort of situations. We need to put pressure on. But big up, William Kelly. I think 60 minutes in now, Mr. Kelly, Lucas Moura just needs to come on. Dele Alli has, again, just been anonymous. I have not seen him do anything so far. So we need to see Lucas Moura come on. Well done.
We need some Brazilian flair right now. Come on.
Exactly. I checked, the regular says I checked again, and the two lines of Kane and the other player on top of each other. It looked like that to me as well, the regular. Like it looked like the lines were half a centimeter apart from each other. And I thought that was kind of being ridded out. I mean, call me biased, but I thought that was kind of gotten rid of. I thought that was, the time when, they were kind of not allowing that to be offsides anymore. That's what I was thinking.
Benefit of the doubt in those situations should go to the attacking team.
Yeah.
Every time.
I completely agree. What's going on here? Is there a substitution? Yep, Dele Alli seems to be going off. Another anonymous performance from the Christmas tree. And there Lucas Moura is coming on. Come on, Lucas.
Didn't even wait for Dele Alli to get off the pitch. Just ran on.
Thank God Moura's on, to be honest. I mean, there's no way he could really, can't do much worse.
What's happened there? Who's on the floor? Who's injured? Is someone injured or someone fallen over? What's happened? West Ham 3-1 up now.
Somebody. Yeah, what a comeback by the Hammers. Yeah, but I couldn't agree more. I feel like that sort of situation where you're offsides by half a centimeter. I thought that was something of last season. I thought they kind of had gotten rid of that for this season, but apparently not. Apparently Harry Kane is the exception by the looks of it. Benedict Tampa saying big ups. Do we need a new competent corner taker? Yes, I think we probably were saying that once we saw Gio Lo Celso, taking corners, and hitting the front man consistently. I
We're
do
awful at
feel
set
like we need a
pieces.
new corner kick taker. And it just seems like something, Benedict, that, these are supposed to be professional footballers. You think one of them would be, capable of working on corner kicks and, being able to work on delivery, but I guess not. We do need a new one, my man. Harry Kane being assaulted in there. Plays it out wide to Armstrong. Armstrong with a
Well done, Ben Davies. Strong in the challenge.
Sonny here. Plays it back to Doherty. Jesus, Doherty, again, you can weight that a bit better. Eric Dyer here with time on the ball, finds Højbjerg. Højbjerg needs to drive it up the pitch here. He plays it to Sonny. Sonny first times it back to Højbjerg. Plays it to Ben Davies. Ben Davies with a bit of space. Plays it to Doherty. See what Doherty can do in this position. Well done by Doherty. Plays it to Sonny.
He just gets rid of it as soon as he can.
Back post to
Royale. What up,
Oh, wait. Get some class. But no, we do need a corner kick taker. Absolutely. Benedict, I could not agree more, my man. I mean, seriously, it's just a bit sad at this rate that we have nobody that can actually have a good delivery into the box. No one can play a good in-swinging or out-swinging corner kick into the box. It just no one can. Doherty in here had Sonny there. And then he plays the easiest pass in the world to Højbjerg.
Højbjerg's looking for some support. Couldn't find much.
William Kelly saying, there's your Dele Alli back to his best. Out in Jan, please. That's not good enough. Yeah, he's just shocking. He's the definition of anonymous at times. Dele Alli is. He just doesn't know. He's not good at coming short for it. He's not really good anymore at really making runs into the box. I just feel like sometimes we're just a bit too kind to Dele Alli at times. We really are. I know you're not William Kelly, but it felt like even when I said that he was kind of somewhat responsible for us not winning against Liverpool, people were saying that, that's being too harsh on him. Oh, here we go, Sonny. Oh. But yeah, he's the definition of being anonymous. He really is. And I'm glad he's off, honestly. And absolutely, get him out in January, my man.
He was on too long. I don't know, talking about being too kind. Sometimes managers give players that are underperforming that 60-minute window so as not to insult them or embarrass them by taking them off early. Jose Mourinho at his prime when he was Chelsea manager, was a proactive manager. If something wasn't working, he would take them off. And then he didn't actually throw them under the bus afterwards. He said it was the formation that was wrong. It could have been anybody that got taken off. I had to take someone off. It wasn't his fault, whoever he was talking about. But sometimes you just have to get him off early. And Dele Alli, it was obvious to us all that he needed to be off in the first half an hour. To give him 65 minutes has wasted our time to get back into this game.
Yeah, hopefully it is enough time for Lucas Moura to make an impact, but I do agree. I think he just should have been taken off at halftime. I guess he was just giving him, the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully that maybe he could turn things around. Lucas Moura plays a beautiful ball into Sonny there. Lets it go to Emerson.
First time.
Harry winks. It looks like it was deflected.
Yeah!
Oh! Please!
What? Yes! Is it in or not?
Please. Just give us something here, referee. Just give us something. That seemed like something.
You're going to VAR that?
Challenge for it. That did seem like something you're allowed to challenge for. Did not seem like that's the keeper's right to have that. Did not seem so. Here we are. Let's see how it looks. Maybe. Potentially. I mean, he's 6'9". I mean, you should be able to get that there, referee.
He's jumped into him. He's jumped into Doherty.
This could be interesting.
Can the VAR overturn that?
We'll see.
He's a monster goalkeeper.
No, they haven't. Huge. Yeah, it seems like, seems like he's big enough to.
And he jumped into Doherty. It wasn't the other way around.
Well done, Sanchez. Harry Winks on the ball here. Played in back to Sanchez. Sanchez recycles it to Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer plays it out wide to Ben Davies. Ben Davies carrying the ball here. Plays it to Doherty. We need to create something here, lads.
Yep.
Sonny.
Spread it.
Very, very tight. 3.
Spread it again. It's too tight.
Lucas
Too
trying
tight.
to force it into Harry Kane. Here we go. Here we go. Sonny. I think they're calling it for a handball by Harry Winks. We are breaking through, though, here. We are kind of creating a bit of havoc. 67 minutes in. Now approaching 68. Do we have enough time? I think we should still have enough time. It did seem a bit suspect there. I will say the keeper's probably quite lucky considering
that man is an absolute monster. he's built like a brick shit house. He's like, not only is he 6'9", but he's also, his shoulders are broader than. He's massive. How is Matt Doherty fouling him there? That's such a 50-50. It's ridiculous.
Also, it seemed like even his own Southampton player kind of shoved him into, shoved off Doherty in there as well. Okay, Shane Long here with the ball. Plays it into Lloris. We need to break from here, though.
Come on, move, boys. Move. That's it, Lucas. Do your turn and spin. Lucas, run.
There we go. Oh, Raf! There's actually...
Yes, okay, Lucas, inside. Well done. Oh, yes. Well done, Lucas.
Go, make that run, Sonny. Make that run. Oh, there we go, Sonny. Come on. There we go. Matt Doherty! Oh, no! With your left foot. Just hit it. You're right, Sean. He doesn't want to do anything with his left foot. He doesn't want to do anything. Just first time with your left foot. Just whatever it takes. Just your left foot.
Hit it with your left foot. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Just shocking. Oh, that is a horrible finish. That wouldn't have gone in as well. That would not have gone in. Jesus, Doherty. Jesus.
It's the one player you don't want it to fall to.
Oh, that was Reggie. If that was Reggie.
Come on, we've got the big...
Oh my God.
Is that Doherty again?
No way.
My God.
He is useless.
Wow.
No way. Oh, he is horrible.
Oh my God.
Horrible. He is actually horrible. He's
worse than Gary Doherty. He used to play.
He's impersonating a footballer there.
Oh, it's just so bad.
That's shocking.
That was comedy. Watch it again, slow mo.
Oh.
Shane Long going off for Southampton.
Putting on Armando Broja, who's actually been quite decent for them this season, I must say. He's actually a good player.
Matt Doherty is so bad.
That's just painful.
How is he playing in our team?
I just don't know what to say to him. That's just painful. Well won by Eric Dyer there. Harry Kane fighting for it.
Oh, sloppy.
Well done, Harry. You actually earned that there. Matt Doherty's just going to recycle it back, you fucker.
Yep, he's going to throw the ball with his right hand only.
Here we go. Sanchez on the ball here. Need someone to pick up the half space here.
Højbjerg inside. Harry Winks. Lucas Moura surrounded by Southampton shirts. Sancho. Oh, it's all very clever. Short passes, but not doing much.
Here we go. Sanchez plays Højbjerg. Højbjerg finds Lucas. Lucas can't get it out of his feet.
18 minutes to play. Plus injury time. Come on.
There you go, Sanchez.
Come on, Sanchez, the new Pele.
Emerson here.
Go on, Emerson. No.
Oh, beautiful pass.
Clever.
Oh. Almost got through the legs there. Good run by Sonny. Good pass by Winks. Need to see Lucas Moore pick up the ball in good spaces here. We need to see him be able to create things. Ball back. Plays it to Ben Davies. Matt Doherty here. I swear if he plays it backwards here. Okay.
Time for Skippy.
Højbjerg.
Time for Brian Hill. Time for Ndombele. What do you think?
Oh, just a bit too much on that. That was a great ball in. That could have been decent there if Emerson got there. Brian Hill seems to be coming on. Lovely to see, actually. Want to see Brian Hill come on. Maybe he's going to come on for... Hopefully he comes on for Doherty.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
What is he going to... Who would he come on for? He'd probably be coming on for Harry Winks when you think about it. Or he has to come on for Harry Winks when I think about it.
You wouldn't take
or he might come on for a center back. He might come on for a center back.
What, and then push Doherty inside?
Yeah. Maybe form a back four. Broja here. Well done by Ben Davies.
Solid from Davies.
That is somebody you need to look out for, that Armando Broja. He's actually quite talented.
Yasin Shakur says, I don't feel like we have creativity. I agree, Yasin. Seems very flaccid today. Hasn't been anywhere near as easy as we hoped. I think it all started with the team setup, to be honest. Just Dele Alli. If you saw the Dele Alli that played against Liverpool, maybe things would be different. But running in the sand, like you say, Jack, he's not fast. Doesn't think quick enough anymore. Been stale.
Cleared away by Emerson. Sonny holds it up, plays it to Højbjerg, who just gives it away uselessly.
This is the problem.
Ben Davies
break quick.
Plays it in Lucas. Lucas
turns. One of them.
Oh,
go on, Sonny.
Here we go, son. Come on, Sonny. That was a great pass by Lucas. Here we go, Højbjerg. Plays it to Doherty. Back to Winks. Winks! Oh my God!
What is he doing?
Hit it with your left peg. Just hit it with your left peg. Just hit it. Just hit it.
It's so bad. It's funny. Oh my God.
And now they're time wasting as well.
He's so bad. He's so bad,
what
Jack.
A signing.
I've never. Oh, Royale's off. Royale for Gill. Interesting.
Oh, interesting. I think that you need to move. If you're me, I think you move Brian Hill out to the left. And move Brian Hill out left, and you move Doherty out to the right.
That makes sense. I've never seen.
What a clearance! What a clearance! Jesus.
Oh my God, it was the best clearance ever. Off the line. Wow. Wow. That was so bad.
That was
hilarious.
Just embarrassing.
It's hilarious. Come on, 15 minutes.
Feels like we're playing with 10 men with Matt Doherty on the pitch at this rate.
Yeah. I mean, trying to figure out what the new formation looks like. So Brian Hill's on the right-hand side. He's playing like Emerson Royale, right on the far right.
Yeah, two inverted fullbacks, I guess.
Here's Doherty again. Cross coming in.
Back post.
No.
Just, again, though, like, you can play that with your left across the six. Like, what is your problem, Doherty? William Kelly saying Doherty reminds me of Dean Austin.
Yeah. Yeah, or Stuart Nethercott.
These are all going over my head. Let me know, Sean. What does that mean?
Dean Austin was a right back in before Stephen Carr, sort of circa 1993, I'd say 1992. He was absolutely appalling. It was absolutely appalling. Didn't like just it was. I think he smoked as well. So like, he wasn't a professional. So his fitness was useless.
He's just useless in every way,
just
like
a useless player.
Doherty.
Yeah, exactly.
Brian Hill here, absolutely shifting it back. Oh! Beautiful ball in. See, that's what you want to see, actually. That's an inverted fullback. That's much better. See, Brian Hill already creating something there. It's beautiful to see. Good header by Sonny, to be honest. Good header. Yeah, William Kelly. Just useless in every way. Sean just explained it. Useless in every way.
I'm surprised that Conte hasn't said to Matt Doherty, go out on the right. At least you're right-footed. You can whip the ball in. You go right back, and Brian Hill goes left, natural left winger. It's interesting that he's done. I guess he wants them to cut back in, but Doherty just. I think all of the Tottenham players now are probably going to avoid giving the ball down the left-hand side because they've seen for themselves it's a waste.
There we go. There we go. Oh, he had him actually, Højbjerg.
Come on, Brian. Go on, Brian. Oh.
Just a bit heavy of a touch there. Ten minutes left of stoppage time, or 10 minutes left until stoppage time, until injury time, and I'm a bit worried because this game is going to start going by a lot sooner. The clock is going to start moving a lot quicker by the feeling of it, and Southampton probably the moment they reach probably 85 minutes will definitely have some belief. The problem is I feel like been a bit hard done by, probably with 2 goals when you think about it. Harry Kane's, offside goal, and then also as well, Matt Doherty's, moment with the keeper, I would say a bit hard done by in both situations.
Yeah.
But here we go. Eric Dyer on the ball, looking, plays Brian Hill, pretty shocking pass. Well done, Eric.
Would you throw anyone else on, Jack?
I think we've kind of
Ndombele.
Yeah, I guess an Ndombele on for like a Højbjerg, but you could really expose yourself in that situation. I don't think Højbjerg really has played very well tonight, to be honest. I don't think he hasn't had a lot to do defensively, but he's not really winning the ball very high up the pitch, and he's not really done a lot with it as well in possession, I must say. Not one of Højbjerg's best performances, that's for sure. So maybe you put on a Tanguy instead. But will Tanguy be able to create anything in that time period? Sometimes he loves to start off slow. Here's a beautiful ball in, played by Doherty. Ben Davies, back post. Plays it to Højbjerg with a beautiful dink. Harry! Oh!
It's offside anyway.
Beautiful dink by Højbjerg.
Why was Ben Davies there? Where was Matt Doherty was now like up front then. Matt Doherty was right in the centre. They told Matt Doherty to go.
Southampton and keeping us offside so many times. Wow, what a little dink by Højbjerg.
Have they told Matt Doherty to almost go central and Ben Davies now to play out on the left? Matt Doherty in that little play, Matt Doherty was playing almost centre forward.
I think, well, that's just sometimes the case. Either Ben Davies makes an underlapping run or an overlapping run. It just depends. Sometimes he'll make an inverted run. Sometimes he'll make, an overlapping run. It just depends. We just know that Ben Davies is the center back that likes to go forward.
Højbjerg. We'll take that. Well done, Harry Kane. Good chase.
Yeah, Harry Kane has not really put much of a foot wrong, I must say, this match. He's been very, very good.
Super frustrating.
He just needs his teammates to step up to his level here. Sanchez on the ball in good position. Someone needs to show for it.
Go on, Lucas. Jink. Oh, no, Lucas. Oh,
What's
no.
happening?
Did he make something of it? Oh, Harry Kane!
Oh, Ben Davies.
Oh!
Oh!
Was that Ben Davies with the shot from outside the area and Walker Peters sacrifices his own face? But what happened? Lucas Moura tries something.
Beautiful fake. Oh, great clearance.
Oh, wow.
Target.
Ben
that was
Davies.
Definitely on target.
Pile driver towards the top right locker, but Walker Peters just absorbs it right on the forehead. Oh, that's going to hurt.
Hopefully we get lots of stoppage time here.
It should be at least 4 or 5 minutes. I don't know how only Lucas Moura could try something dinky, but his planted foot ends up knocking the ball away from his cross foot, ends up almost looking like a complete moron, but then that turns and does a little juke and finds the way to get the ball in the box anyway. Do you know what? Looking at that goal from Ward-Prowse again, he's hit it with such curl on it, the pace and the curl. Lloris was only fingertips away, but the ball was always travelling away from him.
Mm-hmm.
So 5.5 minutes plus injury time, guys.
Ben Davies on the ball here. Plays it to Harry Winks. Plays out Sanchez.
It's really poor. Tottenham facing 10 men for 55 minutes or whatever it was and haven't been able to really break them down.
Yeah.
Fair play to Southampton.
Højbjerg. Plays out wide to Sanchez. Brian Hill. One-on-one with Redmond. Okay. Højbjerg. Okay.
Oh, no.
God, he just cuts. He doesn't even look left.
They are just every man behind the ball, throwing everything at them. It's impressive by Southampton. Impressive defense.
Yeah, they have defended quite well. I think, it has felt like they have 10 men because they've barely been in our own half. But it's just, they've kept it very resolute. They kept it very, very fortified there.
Come on, Brian.
Harry Winks. Brian Hill here again. Cutting inside. Back post. Oh.
That's it.
There you go.
Go on, Sonny.
Good, Sonny. No.
Come on, one of you.
There you go. There you go. Beautiful. Lucas! Oh. Way to make something
Come
happen,
on!
at least, Lucas. Come on, lads.
Come on, Tottenham!
Harry Winks plays it to Ben Davies. Plays it to Lucas!
Oh, bad first touch. Was it offside anyway? If it wasn't, it was
gotta be onside. Andy's got to have a better touch there because he.
And actually, a good ball from Matt Doherty. No. Oh.
It's got to be a better touch. Come on, boys.
Shit.
Poor by. Oh, no. Oh, well done, Lloris.
Well
done, Lloris.
Sweeper keeper.
Left to
Now we
see
go. Now we move. Why have you got 5 men behind the ball, Tottenham? You've got 5 men behind the ball.
Better, Højbjerg.
Playing for a draw.
Minute and a half left. God, they're annoying, Southampton. This is just, I will say, an impressive defensive performance by them. Lucas, why are you in the way there?
Hold on, Lucas. Good hustle.
Højbjerg's got to win that. Well done, Doherty. That's us, sir.
I don't know how you break them down.
They've been very strong defensively. I'm not exactly, we'll take a look at it maybe at some stage in the tactics, but they really have been very, very resolute.
They've got 9 men behind the ball. We don't have anyone particularly tall in our team in the offense, so can't put the ball. You can't lob the ball high and hope for too much.
Here we go. Here we go. Come on, Winks. Find that pass, Winks.
Go on, Brian. Oh, terrible first touch, Brian.
Here we go,
Hit the ball up here. Come on, Sancho.
Kitchen sink time. Come on, lads.
Eric Dyer. Looking for Mora. Back to Winks. Winks crosses the ball in. Matt Doherty.
Keep it in.
Does Matt Doherty keep it in? You better have kept it in. Yep, Eric Dyer.
Ben Davies. Winks.
Come on, Brian. You've got to be a creative spark here.
It's got to be an in-swinger there, Brian. There you go. There you go, Winks. Oh. There you go. Come on, Brian.
Quick pass, Brian. Quick pass. Shot!
Oh!
Kyle Walker-Peters on the floor again, throwing his body on the line for Southampton.
Come on, Højbjerg.
Oh, well
Come
done,
on, Højbjerg.
That's
there
it,
you
Harry.
Go. Come on, Harry. Beautiful pass. Beautiful. Come on, Winks. Come on, Sonny!
Yes! Oh,
no! They got in each other's way. Sonny and Lucas, they got in each other's way. 5 minutes of stoppage time. 5 minutes of injury time. Seems like it could have been a bit more.
Ball, though.
Oh, that is a beautiful ball in. That is a beautiful ball in.
Oh, no!
Oh, no. Eric Dyer. Oh, well done, Sanchez.
Jesus
well done.
Christ. Felt like Mura all over again.
Ben Davies and Eric Dyer, they're having a shocker. No, that's just Eric Dyer.
Oh, Eric Dyer. Well done, Sancho. Well, he's done well, Sanchez. Come on, if we can break fast from this corner, if they cross the ball, they're not going to press. They're going to
keep everyone back for this. They might even try to waste a bit of time here.
Yeah. Get it. Get it. Yes, go on,
Lloris.
Now run,
get it out,
Lloris.
Come on, Højbjerg.
Højbjerg.
Play Sonny. Somebody play Sonny. Play Sonny. Oh.
Faster, please, Hill.
Here we go. Sanchez.
Terrible ball.
Lucas. Højbjerg. Oh! Winks.
Harry Winks to Kane! Oh!
Oh! That was the chance. That was the chance. That was the chance. That was close as well.
How close was it?
Oh,
6 inches.
Tried to tuck it in the near post there. Feels like a very big missed opportunity by the lads.
They're giving James Ward-Prowse the man of the match. Harry Kane for me, but no one else on the Tottenham pitch would be.
No,
in the front.
Harry Kane has just been head and shoulders above everyone else this match. Here we go, Sonny. There we
Go on, Matt
Doherty.
Doherty!
Play that ball. Play him. Play him. Brian.
Oh!
God.
Fuck!
Wait. And then in that moment, that's when you want a right-footed player receiving this ball here. Also, he's got to play that
Offside, is he?
so much sooner as well. You got to play that so much sooner. Jesus.
Come on, Sonny! It's now! Corner again. Come on!
Come on, Sanchez.
It was straight off Sanchez's head, and yet we've got another corner. We'll take it. We'll take it. Come on. Oh, Lucas Moura!
Back post. Eric Dyer. Oh, Højbjerg. That's huge missed opportunity. Huge missed opportunity by Spurs. Southampton went down to 10 men in the end of the first half. Sean, I mean, with 10 men, it felt like we just didn't take advantage of it. But I mean, what do you feel like? Is it just credit to Southampton for such a good defense, or is it just, maybe some poor display, in terms of, going forward by our players?
A little from column A, a little from column B, Jack. I feel like, you have to, give credit where it's due. They defended in the second half, like beavers. They were fantastic, but Tottenham were relatively, uncreative. I don't know what. It's difficult. Like I've said to you before, it's difficult to analyze whilst you're also commentating. But I don't know what we could have done. I don't know where the angles were. We had so much possession in the second half, but it just didn't ever feel to me like we were going to break them down. The Harry Kane goal that wasn't to be came out of nothing. When we broke too slowly. Tottenham are always a team that when we do score on the counter-attack, it requires the opposition team to have players up front, and they didn't. They sat back. They weren't interested in going for the second goal today, so it was always going to be very difficult, very frustrating 90 minutes, and 2 points dropped, unfortunately, but I don't know where else we could have found the result from.
Was it too slow in the final third? I just feel like there were so many moments when, we were just trying to play so safe in the final thirds, and, we were trying to just make it, a bit too easy. Sometimes you just have to take that risk. We saw Harry Winks, do that a few times where he just decided to play that dink, pass in behind. It just seems like there are moments when, we could have been maybe a bit riskier with the ball. I don't know.
Yeah, and listen, I totally agree with that. I also would add, I'm a little bit perplexed by some of the decisions, and I'm not going to ever challenge or critique Antonio Conte, but I did think it was weird putting Matt Doherty on the left and keeping him there he clearly, it was just a weird option. He's not comfortable on the left-hand side. I'd rather have seen Tanganga on the left-hand side, if I'm honest, than Matt Doherty. When you brought Brian Hill on, you could have swapped him onto the left and put Matt Doherty on the right, had a bit more kind of natural balance to the team. I thought Dele Alli stayed on the pitch too long. Lucas Moura, Sonny again wasn't particularly spectacular today. In fact, I don't really remember him doing very much at all. Just frustrations all round, Jack. More questions than answers, and it's definitely bringing us down to it's a bit of gravity, right? It's bringing us down to earth very quickly.
Yeah.
Lots to digest.
And I did ask, on the fan show, Sean, I did ask everybody, Southampton, they did have that great result against West Ham.
Yeah.
They've had good results against Chelsea. They've had, I think, good results against Man City as well.
Yep.
They kind of do show up maybe for the bigger teams. Do you feel like maybe this was it? I'm not sure if you did, and I'm not sure if I did, but maybe the team itself, maybe the squad itself, maybe they kind of underestimated Southampton.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also, listen, Southampton are a good team, especially at home. And we've had, our successes of late have come at home. We haven't played very many away games. I think we've only had one away game under Conte, which was at Everton, which was also a very frustrating game to watch.
Yeah, another dull game.
We didn't create anything in that game either. So, listen, I think that, God, it makes you worried, right? Like you go into this game thinking, oh, we're only 6 points behind Arsenal. We've got 3 games in hand, but those games are all away from home. Now I'm starting to see a trend that Tottenham at home are a force to be reckoned with. Tottenham away from home are, at least so far, have been, lacking creativity, lacking in energy, lacking in anything that's kind of decisive. And those games in hand are all away from home against teams that, for the most part, are fighting relegation, that have got things that they've got to, so it's suddenly I don't feel quite as bullish as. But I think I need to digest it, because I think we were valued for the win in the second half. If anyone was going to win, it was us, and we did have 2 or 3 good opportunities. It's a tough game to analyze, really. It's a tough one.
It is a tough game because I think it was, they're very much like what could have been moments. And I think, Matt Doherty, to be honest, was a few. There were a few moments when he was, had a great opportunity one-on-one with a keeper, and he didn't do anything with it at all. There was a moment where I believe Sonny could have had, I think, a better touch, if I recall, and could have maybe done a bit better with it. There are moments where Lucas probably could have done a bit better with the ball as well. And, as well, I thought there were times when just in the final third, it just felt like, the decision-making was poor. Even that moment with Brian Hill towards the end, where Brian Hill picked up a great position, I feel like he should have been played in sooner. But, he also, didn't do very much with it. So it was kind of a what could have been kind of moments, or, kind of what ifs for certainly. But Jordan Stevens saying, not getting it carried away, but down to reality a little. We are poor away from home. And have been for a while. Even against 10 men, we didn't create. Jordan Stevens, I think this really just sums up a lot of, I feel like, of what we're feeling right now. And so honestly, well said. Very efficient, my man. I think we are probably getting a bit carried away with potentially, our form. It might have been, like Sean was saying, we're a bit more of a fortress at home, a very different team away. It's nice that we're not dropping, 3 points away from home. We're dropping 2 points, away from home, at least with the Everton fixture in this one. But I would say this one, especially against a 10-man Southampton, you just have to get the 3 points. You have to, whatever, even if it isn't pretty, you just have to find a way to do it. And I think it just came down to, just not being clinical enough, not having, final quality in the final thirds as well. It's just a lot of things go into it. And potentially, we will bring this up later, but, maybe certain maybe incomings in January could have maybe changed, potentially, this outcome, but we'll see. And also I do feel like we're a lot poorer away from home than we probably have given us, than probably realized. David, I believe, when he returns, has a great stat actually on our form away from home. It actually has been quite shocking this season. And I think we have been brought down back to reality a bit, Jordan Stevens. So big yourself up, my man. Honestly, well said, my man. Well said. Dark Sun G saying that Southampton goalkeeper is way too tall. Hill was unlucky. A lot of people are saying as well, he should have gotten a red card for how many times he was time wasting as well. I actually did notice that, sometimes it was taking absolute ages for him to get rid of the ball. So Dark Sun G, not only is he too tall, but he's also getting away with probably a lot of decent time wasting And then Hill was a bit unlucky. I thought Hill actually was quite decent when he came on. You can see what he offers when he does come onto the pitch. He can bring, a bit of excitement, a bit of flair, he also has good in-swinging kind of crosses, I must say. He actually has good delivery into the box, Brian Hill does, but
it's
there
just
was
a problem
probably that last moment.
much...
He could have been a bit better. I thought that last little moment, he could have done a bit better with it. Maybe could have scored.
And I feel like when he does want to whip the ball and he whips it in high, his first instinct when he's created a bit of space is to whip it in high. And we don't score too many headers, Jack. So, we don't have a particularly strong, a particularly tall forward line. And so I feel like maybe Brian Hill needs to kind of consider that the best option isn't always to necessarily whip it in high, because our attack doesn't necessarily suit that kind of strategy. But that notwithstanding, I'm just thinking about it as well. We gave Matt Doherty a really hard time today, and kind of, to a degree, rightly so. But he could have scored the winner. The disallowed goal for me was no way a foul. For if anything, you've got a 6'8" goalkeeper against a 5'10" guy.
He also tried to catch it like this as well when you think about it as well. So it's just kind of like not really foul when you're also trying to catch the ball and that sort of.
And the keeper looked like he was jumping into Matt Doherty. Matt Doherty looked like he was fairly stationary, and the keeper trying to jump in. I don't know. I mean, obviously, you always know the keeper gets unnecessary protection at times, but look, it was. I
agree.
Super frustrating all day long.
Yeah, and with the 6'8" goalkeeper, you think he's already had, goalkeepers already get enough protection as it is. It felt like, that was just a prime example of what that was. And Dark Sun G, I think Hill was quite unlucky. Dara saying Sonny, unbelievably bad, couldn't control the ball. Interesting. I think, Sonny, he hasn't been at his full best. I think the past few games, he hasn't been at his full best, but he actually, to a degree, actually did have some poor first touches. It was kind of the case against Liverpool as well. It didn't have the greatest first touches sometimes as well. But I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Sean, are we being a bit too harsh maybe on Sonny here with Darrow's comment, or is maybe something we have to realize that maybe this wasn't maybe Sonny's best display?
I don't think he's been at his best now for at least 4 games. Yeah, he wasn't great against Palace. He wasn't great against Liverpool. I think he missed his first touch against Liverpool 3 or 4 times. Even in the goal, even in the parts of the game that didn't lead to goals, he was off. Same at Palace today. The only thing I really remember him doing well was win the penalty. And you have to, that was fantastic what he did there. But there was probably 4 or 5 other times when he was late, sloppy, slow. His first touch, you can see he's frustrated. You can see it in his face. I haven't seen him smile at all today, and he's usually smiling most of the times the camera points to it.
Especially when he's playing well.
Yeah. So. There's something there, and when Sonny's not playing well, when Sonny's when his form dips, it certainly affects us. I thought Harry Kane was phenomenal today. Can't fault that guy's performance. I think you give him an 8. But apart from that, I thought Eric Dyer was pretty good.
Sanchez, I actually thought was the best.
And Sanchez, and Sanchez seems to be, emerging as a bit kind of an offensive centre back as well, trying to take those reins from Christian Romero. So I don't know. Listen, it's hard. Like I say, it's hard to digest, but there certainly wasn't too many positives. Albeit, I do think on the day we were unlucky to not come away with the win. The goal that was disallowed shouldn't have been, but we made it more difficult for ourselves than it needed to be. We didn't create enough, and so. Yeah.
The goal that was disallowed shouldn't have been with Matt Doherty's. I also feel like Kane's didn't really actually look offside to me.
Offside either.
Because I kind of thought that, if your hand is offsides, I kind of thought that wasn't the case this season, but yet they're using it again because it felt like the lines were on top of each other there. David, the Irish Hotspur, saying disappointing draw. A few positives to take. Our Hill looked good when he came on. Winks had a good game. Just need to learn to be more ruthless. I completely agree with that. But unbeaten in 7 Premier League games, we will take it and move on. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Maybe do you feel like we kind of have to, as much as this feels like maybe points lost, and I think that really should be the feeling is points lost, but still unbeaten, in the Premier League under Antonio Conte. Maybe that is a bit of a positive. And then as well, it's just down to ruthlessness. We just don't really have it sometimes in front of goal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really agree with Dave actually on that one. I don't think Gil looked that good. I thought he looked okay. He came on with fresh legs against a team that were down to 10 men and that have been playing defensive for 60 minutes or 50 minutes. I don't think he did much. And I thought Winks was I thought Winks was okay. He was slightly better. He grew into the game, but I think for the first 35 minutes, most of us in the chat were trying to get him off. I know the ball. I know that he put a good ball through for Harry Kane. I think Oliver Skip. I think the team selection was wrong. I do. I think Oliver Skip should have played, unless who knows what their fitness was like and if they were exhausted from Sunday. But I just thought Skip might have offered a bit more, and I think that Moura should have been on beforehand. And if you have Moura in the pitch, then maybe Winks has something more to play with, more to work with, right? So sometimes it's difficult to analyze individuals when they're not playing. It was like when we used to criticize Dane Scarlett for playing in the Conference League, but he's playing with players that didn't care, didn't want to be there. So it's hard to judge people when it's part of a team effort, and
they compound off of each other.
Yeah, I think the fact that Dele Alli was so poor today meant that maybe it made it more difficult for certain other players to play their part. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, Dave, I don't.
Welcome to disagree. Welcome to disagree. And
respectfully disagree, Dave.
I know. I'm kind of to a degree. I thought Hill did all right. I don't think he was poor, but I think you think he was all right. I think he could have probably had a wholly different sort of opinion had he scored maybe that opportunity. I think we'd all then be kind of all over Brian Hill. So I think he put himself in good positions. Yeah, but probably could have been potentially a bit more clinical in certain opportunities. I think the whole team could have been a whole lot more ruthless apart from Harry Kane. They certainly could have been. And so I think that's the big issue. It's just our finishing sometimes in front of goal is just really suspect, especially we saw it again against Liverpool. Just no one seemed to be able to finish and have that ruthless kind of streak in them. Crocodoc's in here with the big super chat saying, people have been trying to tell me that Sanchez has improved. Don't let a lackluster Son or Dele distract from how he is one of our worst players on the ball. Also, Højbjerg's heavy 2-yard passes. I think I'll talk about the Højbjerg part, and maybe you can do the Sanchez part, Sean, if you like. I thought Højbjerg, this was really not a good display from him. I've seen him play much better passes before in other matches. I've seen him control games a lot better. He just didn't seem... He just wasn't even carrying the ball. He's also not a bad carrier of the ball at times. Højbjerg is. It just felt like it's just really one of his worst displays I've seen actually this season, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because it wasn't like he was absolutely awful or anything, but it really was, I thought, one of his worst displays so far this season. He just didn't really do anything for me to really warrant him kind of getting any sort of praise or anything. He wasn't winning the ball back in good positions like he always does. He wasn't kind of controlling the midfield like he always does. He wasn't putting in those hard-nosed tackles like he can. And he wasn't really playing that great of passes into players' feet. He was actually playing some pretty heavy passes, wasn't able to play balls in behind to Sonny or Harry Kane. I felt like we were kind of relying on Winks to do that, which usually isn't the case. Usually sometimes it's a bit of both. Usually they kind of share those kind of good passing range. So I kind of agree with you, Crocodox. And then on Sanchez, maybe, I guess Sanchez, what do you feel like? Maybe somebody that was slowing us down often with the ball, I guess, in possession?
Well, I think what Crocodox is saying that Sanchez has been poor and still is poor, right? And
interesting,
and so I certainly think that he's definitely been, most of our defense you could look for improvements from. Sanchez has definitely been someone that I've thrown a lot of criticism at over the last 18 months, but I feel like he has got better. I thought today he was fairly solid. So you're right to say let's not allow, if certain other players are playing down here, then a 6 out of 10 suddenly looks like an 8 out of 10 because other people are playing worse. I take that point, Crocodox. But I actually thought today Sanchez I don't remember Sanchez making too many mistakes, albeit in the first half. Like I say, I have to go back and look at the tape again, but I did think that was it Armstrong, Adam Armstrong? I think he had some quick wins in the first 20 minutes against Sanchez. So
yeah,
I take your point that Sanchez wasn't spectacular, but let's not give him credit because other people were less than average. But I actually do think Sanchez has been improving overall. I would like to see
the best defensively this match, but maybe possession wise, maybe he's not been so great. Maybe he's actually a bit poor. Like he doesn't actually play any passes that really help us, kind of break into the final thirds. Maybe he is a bit too cautious and too conservative on the ball, a bit too pragmatic, I guess, is what he might be saying.
I wouldn't say it's not really his role to do it, though, is it, Jack? It's not like
maybe
you shouldn't be looking at centre backs and criticising their offensive efforts. Really, like if you're doing that, then there's something else going massively wrong further upfield.
Potentially in this system, though, you want at least one or two center backs to be very good on the ball and, playing in passes into players' feet to open up things a bit more. You do in a back three as well. You do need good ball playing center backs. And maybe what he's saying is just Sanchez is a bit poor in that regard. And I think I would agree. But I think that being said, I think Sanchez was probably the best defensively. I think this match, especially in the second half, there were a lot of moments when he just absolutely cleaned up and just made, things, he's also great in the air at moments as well as Sanchez is. So I thought Eric Dyer, Ben Davies, all three of them were actually perfectly fine defensively. Maybe they could have been a bit more, kind of, creative, going forward, at least, helping the midfield, helping, the front three, receive the ball in good positions. But I did think they did their job defensively. Not really too many chances that I can really recall apart from the first half that Southampton created. So, to be honest, they did most of their job. It just feels like, the whole team was just a bit off today. But Crocodoc's really good talking point, honestly. Really good talking point, I must say. Dara says, Conte has brought this up. We need to kill teams. He's brought this up multiple times, Dara. He's brought this up multiple times. We need to be more ruthless, especially in these situations as well, where we find ourselves with the other team having 10 men. We need to be a whole lot more ruthless. We need to find within ourselves to find, that pass, to find that sort of running behind, to create a bit of havoc, to create a bit of chaos. It seems like when teams have gone down to 10 men, we play actually weirdly more pragmatic. We play more conservative. We seem to, run out of ideas. Sometimes that could be the case because teams actually end up changing their shape a lot in 10 men. They end up kind of changing their sort of style of play more, which sometimes can maybe throw teams off. But at the same time, it just felt like there's nobody willing to take it on their own shoulders, to take it within themselves, to create something. Especially, I would say, even Lucas Moura. Like Lucas Moura, just you weren't seeing him pick up the ball in those kind of half spaces and just turning and running at players. He seemed to kind of drift and be a bit anonymous, similar to how Dele Alli was a bit anonymous. And then the same thing with, to be honest, with Sonny. Sonny wasn't picking up the ball in great positions either and doing a lot with it. And then obviously our fullbacks as well. Our fullbacks, every time when they picked up the ball, they just wanted to play it right back to the player they just received it from. So it just felt like nobody wanted to take on the burden. Nobody wanted to take on the responsibility to create anything, to be honest, Dara. And it's maybe a bit of a problem. And that's why Conte said we need to be a bit more ruthless. We needed to kill teams more. I completely agree, my man.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit silly. Unless something happened to Serge Reguilon. I thought Reguilon probably had an extra 15 minutes inside of him at the start of the second half. I wasn't worried about him getting sent off, but I feel like I think that changed our dynamic. It changed our ability to pivot down both wings with attacking flair. And so that was an unnecessary change so quickly into the game. Unless it was because of the fact that he was exhausted from doing 90 minutes of constant running against Crystal Palace. And the other thing that I thought could have happened where we could have killed the game, to Dara's point, is I feel like in the last 15 minutes, there's no reason why you couldn't have thrown on Tanguy and Ndombele. If anyone is going to find that threaded inch perfect pass against a team of 10, 9 of which are behind the ball, then I feel like Tanguy could have done it. I'm not a fan of him. I don't think he's got much time left at Tottenham, but I think if he was meant for a role, that was something he could have done there. Yeah. So
I think he could have come on for Højbjerg. I think I said it at one stage. I was a bit worried about it because, we know Højbjerg gives you that defensive solidity, but Højbjerg just wasn't doing anything on the ball for me. So it just kind of felt like you might as well just then bring on Tanguy and just see what he offers, sees what he can do a bit differently. And I thought Winks actually grew into the game and, continued to, play better and better and better every passing minute. But with Højbjerg, I really can't say the same. So I actually probably would have put on Tanguy because at least in that case, it felt like Southampton were just kind of just sitting back, just willing to invite the pressure, and they were inviting the pressure very well. Like they were handling it very well. So I think you do get on somebody like a Tanguy who can either take a shot from distance, because I think they're, we know he has actually a good shot on him. And then as well, he could probably play one of those kind of dink passes in behind to someone like a Harry Kane or a Sonny, and maybe we created something from there. So it is a big what if. I don't want to be too critical of the players. I thought, at the end of the day, they still got, a point away from home.
And 3 goals that should have counted that didn't,
And so. 3 goals exactly that should have counted that didn't. And it's a bit hard done by. Actually, remind me of the third. Maybe I'm a bit crazy. I know Doherty's.
Sorry, yeah. Well, the first goal by Kane, and then Doherty's, and then the offside by Harry Kane as well. Right, so that they the two disallowed goals.
Scored.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So there it is, everybody. You probably think about it. Probably could have walked away with 3 points, and maybe we are being a bit harsh on the players. I don't think we are. I think, by the tone of our voice, we're not being, too ridiculous about it. But it does seem like, it was a bit of a missed opportunity, and potentially as well, if the VAR was on our side, for this one, they could have helped us out. But yeah, it does feel like maybe missed points. Dark Sun G saying, I think the problem was that we needed more people in the box. After they went down to 10 men, they put 9 men in the box while we put 4. No way can we win that way. Interesting thought. I thought at certain stages we were putting a lot of players in the box. I must say, Dark Sun G, I saw Eric Dyer, wandering in there lots of times. I saw sometimes, Lucas Moura, Sonny, and Harry Kane in there. And I also, to a degree, saw some other players kind of wander in there as well. But I do see kind of where your head's at, considering that they practically did have all 10 men behind the ball for the majority of that match. You do kind of have to just maybe create some sort of havoc where maybe someone picks up that second ball in the box and just puts away, kind of a scrappy goal. But what are your thoughts, maybe, Sean? Should we have maybe just thrown a bit more men in there, kind of thrown a bit more kitchen sink time into it?
I think they played so defensive. They had so many men behind the ball that Tottenham, like I was saying a moment ago, I feel like Tottenham are best on the counter attack, or best when Southampton were moving forward, when they had a corner kick, when they had a free kick, and they threw a few guys forward, and then their move broke down, was the best opportunities that Tottenham had. When Harry Winks threaded that ball, that was to Harry Kane, that was considered offside. That was just after Southampton had the ball in the Tottenham half, and that's the way that Tottenham can create things. When they're putting 9 men behind the ball, throwing more men into the box just creates more clutter. I'd rather find a way, and I'm not good enough to know how that would work, but to slow it down, to bring it out, to try and pull people back out, to trap them somehow, like a poker trap. You need to be able to spread the players. I don't think Tottenham have the talent. We're a fast breaking counter-attacking team. We're not a team that can thread past, but technically I don't think we're good enough just to play one-touch triangles that somehow gets through. Doesn't seem to work even against 9 or 10 men or 11 men. Tottenham need the other team to be pushing out a little bit so we can break fast and break quick. And I don't think that would have changed had we thrown more men into the box.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. But, Dark Sun G, you're probably right at the end of the day. We probably could have done a bit better, but with maybe throwing more men into the box. Dark Sun G is also saying, Sean, and I do believe this is kind of on me as well, actually. We used 3 subs by then, Doherty, Lucas, and Hill. Maybe just to answer this in, Dark Sun G, you're completely right, my man. You're completely right. Probably you then say what we could have done differently is maybe you don't take off Reguilón and you keep on Reguilón and let, play that risk, and then eventually put on a Tanguy instead of a Højbjerg, or, maybe put on Tanguy instead. That's maybe the way we could have gone about it, risk it with Reguilón, but then, bring on someone like Tanguy. Because I just thought Doherty, there were so many moments where, like, if it was Reguilón in those positions, which it would have been, I mean, I think Reguilón would have made the same runs that Doherty was making. He probably would have done something a bit better with it. So maybe you take that risk with Reguilón and, not let him get that second yellow. But I don't know.
And I personally would have not, if let's presume that Doherty had come on anyway for Reguilón and Lucas came on for Dele, I personally would have rather have seen Ndombele come on rather than Bryan Hill.
Interesting, yeah.
That's just my take. I know everyone seems to be of the opinion that that Bryan Hill did well. didn't see that much of him that I thought was that exciting. But I would have liked to have seen it on Dembele, considering how compressed and how tight that they were playing. So
yeah, and he is good in those tight areas, Tanguy. So I do agree with you there. But yeah, my solution then, Dark Sun G, would have been to take off or not put on Doherty, maybe put on Tanguy instead, and maybe not make that Doherty sub. I do agree with you. Gogama saying tough games, things did not gel. Disappointed for the loss, but I see improvements. All working hard and did not give up. Mentality is improving. Interesting, actually, Gogama. I must say, actually, did the team really give up? It didn't feel that way. It felt like they didn't really hang their heads. They looked very disappointed. They looked like they were trying their hardest in order to get that 3 points. They did look like they still had their wits about them. They didn't lose concentration at any stage as well. They didn't. I don't know. It just kind of felt like they ran out of ideas, but that has nothing to do with maybe mentality. That just kind of has to do with sometimes quality. Sometimes that just has to do with, maybe just not really being on it today. But it felt like they were still working very hard. It felt like they were still, kind of sticking together as a squad. And also, I will say, it felt like there were some leaders out there, especially Harry Kane. He did look like a big leader out there in terms of what he was saying to players. Even at one stage, I think when that offsides goal happened, he told everybody to still, stay focused and still to, kind of remember that, they have to be able to grab 3 points here. So I think the mentality was still quite strong. And, then again, another point, away from home, which should have been 3 points, but at least we didn't drop points, at least we didn't drop all 3 points, I guess. So I think Gogama, that's actually kind of like what David is saying. I think she's in the same wavelength where it's a tough game, could have done better, but maybe there's some positives still to take from it, not too many negatives, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I think sometimes you have to just tip your cap to the opposition. Southampton played really well today. On another day, if one of those goals that were disallowed was given, we'd be coming away with 3 points. I'd be interested to see what the content in the comments and your opinion, Jack, would have been had we played exactly the same, as everything was exactly the same, but Matt Doherty's goal was given. Would we be sitting here, reviewing everyone's performance with a glass half full kind of look rather than a glass half empty? Because I feel like, Southampton is a tough place to play. I thought they played themselves and did a fantastic job for their team today. I thought Tottenham could have done better, should have done better, but it's one of those days. One of those days. Certainly a frustration. I haven't seen that much more improvement. I think it was Gaguma's point. I haven't seen that much improvement versus the last couple of games, but I definitely think the trend is going in the right direction. I am concerned a little bit by the away form, the way that we set up away from home. Personally, I don't think that some of the strategy or the setup during the game was how I would have done it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's still another game undefeated under Conte. You can't win them all. Onwards and upwards.
Yeah. And, your mentality speaks to, I think, what Bottom Duda is saying right here. Big up Gogama, though. Absolute legend. But Bottom Duda saying, one draw and some comments are so disheartening. Saints beat West Ham just 2 days ago. Glad the presenters aren't critical. Yeah, I think we've kind of we just seem a bit down, but I don't think we've been really that overly critical. At least it feels like by the tone of my voice, even I don't really feel that overly critical of the players. It just feels like a missed opportunity, to Bottom Duda, but it also just feels like, there were some goals that were taken away from us that shouldn't have been taken away. We were a bit hard done by. We were a bit unlucky in that regard. And to be honest, maybe apart from maybe a certain like Matt Doherty and maybe, I don't know, Højbjerg, I guess, to a degree, didn't really feel like there were that atrocious of performances out there. Like I couldn't really point at one player and say like this person was the sole reason we didn't win, kind of situation. It just felt like we weren't at our best. And sometimes that can be the case. And also, like you said, they did just beat West Ham 2 days ago, and they're doing quite well against the bigger teams this season. I'll say it again. They did well against Chelsea. They've done well against Man City. They've done well, I think it was Man United at one stage as well, unless I'm wrong. And then they've obviously done well against us and West Ham. So, they've actually shown up against the bigger teams this season, West Ham or Southampton, excuse me. And that's also something that needs to be taken into consideration. And, sometimes, everybody has sometimes reactionary comments to Bottom Duda. It's often the part of the human, part of human nature to do that. But, I will say it just feels a bit like a missed opportunity, but I'm not going to beat ourselves up too much about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, mate. It's just frustrating and disappointing rather than angry or
It doesn't.
you know.
It just doesn't feel like you could point at one, situation or one player and just, kind of go on a huge rant about it, just to be honest. And also, like you said earlier, Sean, maybe to a degree, we kind of just have to tip our flat caps over to Southampton for maybe an excellent defensive display as well.
They were
But
good
big
on
up
the
to
day.
bottom, dude. Faz Radfar saying Dyer nearly gave whole 3 points away. Sanchez was okay. Yeah, I will say maybe that was the one shaky moment in the second half, was Eric Dyer didn't really clear his lines well, but it ended up working out. It ended up being all right at the end of the day. Don't really want to read too much into that because we do know Dyer is capable of that. But I thought Sanchez was actually great defensively. And actually, when you think about it, take yourself back to that moment, Sean, I guess he made a fantastic tackle actually to save Eric Dyer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, like I say, I thought Sanchez was good. I didn't think he was bad. So I thought he was really good. I thought Dyer was fairly good as coming out as well. That was a 1 weak moment, just like against who was it? Who was the game? The other game? It wasn't Crystal Palace. It must have been, who was it when Eric Dyer made that sloppy through
West
pass
Ham
against West Ham.
in the cup, yeah.
He's got that moment inside of him where he just loses concentration for a split second, and thankfully, today Sanchez was there to tidy up his mess. But I thought Sanchez was good. I forget who it was who was saying they didn't fancy Sanchez today too much, but I thought it was a fairly decent.
He saved Eric Dyer there, I guess. When you think about it, he did save Eric Dyer. So yeah, I completely agree, my man. 2J with a big one saying, I need Matt Dyer to never put on a Spurs shirt ever again for my sanity. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think when I take myself back to it, 2J, like, this guy really was pissing me off at a certain rate. He doesn't know how to hit it with his left foot. Again, there's an opportunity where he had one-on-one with the keeper. You just kind of think about it, just like hit it just first time with your left. Like, even if it isn't the greatest hit, just go for it or do something with your right foot. The fact he took a touch and then tried to dink it with his outside of his right foot just really speaks to the fact that he's incapable of using his left foot. And then he also missed it as well. Like, I think despite the keeper saving that, they were going to save it off the line. He didn't hit it with any power as well with the outside of his boot. So just was shocking. And then there was that other moment, I think, as well, where he tried to cross it. I believe he tried to cross it. It was shocking. And then he ended up picking it up at the top of the 18, went for like a spectacular volley, and also just absolutely sent it all the way back to Kildare, Ireland, and probably hit David on the back of the head.
It was insane. I was laughing. I was wetting myself laughing because I don't know how else to react when you have a player who is that incapable and that he just has. This is so bad.
He's the only, actually, to be honest, I mean, I know that, we've been kind of level-headed about this the whole time, but he is actually the only player that I would say, like, I could deliberately point at and say probably one of the reasons we didn't win that match, actually. And I hate that. I don't like to put it that way sometimes with players, but I really thought he was that poor in certain situations where he was picking up the ball against also 10 men as well. Let's say this. He was also coming up against 10 men. We saw, I guess, you compare it to Brian Hill, I guess. Brian Hill was taking on his man every time, trying to make things happen. Every time Matt Doherty picked up the ball, he just passed the ball back to the player that he just received it from.
He does that on the right, though, as well. It's not everyone thinks that when he's on the left-hand side, he's played out of position, therefore you can't expect too much. But he does that on the right-hand side just as much. He's just someone who gets the ball. I think his confidence is shattered. It's at an all-time low. Because he can't be that bad. He cannot possibly be that poor of a player that, like, he goes to, like, that ball when he tried to volley it and it went 80 foot into the air. Like, there's a level of a technique that a Premiership player should have, and it can only be confidence that can edge away at that or ebb away at that. And I feel like he has to be just royally ripped of his confidence, because I've never seen anybody as poor in the last 15 years. Back in the day, in the early 90s, someone was mentioning Dean Austin as an example. There were players at Tottenham back then in the early 90s that were like laughable at times, how bad they were. Stuart Nethercott is another example. And you go, okay, like, that was a different era. These days, there's a level of professionalism. These people are at the premium level of elite as a physical specimen or as a sportsman. He's not. He doesn't make it. I don't get it. And anyone saying that it's only because he was out of position, it's not. He does the same. He makes the same issues or the same idiot, boring choices when he's on the right as much as he does on the left as well.
Yeah, I just thought he was just useless out there too, Jay. So if anybody I thought, probably hurt us for maybe grabbing 3 points, I actually do think it was Matt Doherty at the end of the day. So I completely agree with you too, Jay. And to be honest, you can thank Steve Hitchen for that signing. So there you are too, Jay. That's another discussion, but another one of those signings that just to this day just absolutely baffles me. I'd like to think that Paratici would not sign Matt Doherty for 20 fucking million at the end of the day, certainly. Dark Sun G saying the only problem, in my opinion, was using Delhi instead of Tanguy. Interesting. What if Tanguy would have started instead of Delhi? Would we have seen something different? I do love to always give Tanguy a break because I do somewhat at the end of the day, as much as I let a rip into the guy, I do like the guy, Tanguy, because what he can offer sometimes is, jaw dropping. But would he have been any different than Delhi? I guess he probably would have in the moments when Dele Alli, there are moments, Sean, for me where he doesn't know what to do with the ball before he receives it. He doesn't know what's around him. He doesn't know when a player is, about to be on his back or on his shoulder. He doesn't know when somebody's about to make a tackle on him. He doesn't exactly know really, again, what to do with the ball before he receives it. So in my opinion, there's this thing where someone like a Tanguy Ndombele, he would know what to do with the ball before he receives it because he loves to do all these fancy tricks. He knows what players he's about to skin. He's kind of like Lucas Moura in that regard.
Yeah.
And he probably would have played a better pass, in behind for someone like a Harry Kane or someone like a Sonny. He probably would have played in, decent ball and behind. Would he have been the difference between a win and a loss? I might not go that far, but I think he would have probably put in a better display than Delhi. I don't think you could be much worse than what Delhi was, to be honest, because Delhi was just anonymous. It's not like Delhi even did a whole lot wrong. He just couldn't do anything. He couldn't find a way into the game. And when a number 10 can't find a way to pick up the ball or, pick up space or, find himself in creative positions, it says a lot about a player, because if you're playing that number 10 position and you don't know how to pick up the ball in the right spaces, then I don't know what you're doing on the pitch, to be honest, if you ask me. So Dark Sun G, maybe he could have been the difference. I wouldn't say he wouldn't have been the difference between a win and a loss, but he would have definitely I don't think you could have had much worse performance than Delhi, to be honest. But he also says that Chelsea game, they lost James Ward-Prowse and still did well. I think they are used to playing with 10 men after that. We'll beat Watford 4-0 on Saturday. Again, Dark Sun G with just the absolutely unbelievable scouting and just kind of computer-like memory, I must say. Apparently, they're actually quite comfortable playing with 10 men, Southampton. And I think this is why, Sean, we keep kind of saying, we kind of have to tip our flat caps to Southampton, because I thought they played quite spectacularly with 10 men. I really did. I thought they were defensively sound. They still made it really hard for us to play through the middle. They made it really hard for us to even do anything out wide. And they just were clearing everything quite expertly and really good at wasting time as well. I mean, it's just maybe this is the opportunity just to kind of give Southampton, maybe a bit of a pat on the back to a degree, because they played quite well.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. There's some days you just have to hold your hands up and say, could have won, should have won. It wasn't our day. We can look for all the reasons to be frustrated. But other times you just have to kind of go, the other team were well worth their point today. And not much more to say about it. Like I say, if we had scored one of those goals, but every single other point of the game was exactly the same as it was, then we'd all be happy. We'd still be pointing out that there were certain things in the game that were, frustrating to watch. We'd go through the same moments, but it's the result that's disappointing. The performance, had areas of improvement, but it takes two to tango. And on the day, Southampton were, bloody good. They were bloody good at doing what they had to do. They got the goal that they had. We pinned them back. We got back into the game, and then their centre back was clumsy, got sent off, and after that they only had one option, which was to sit back and absorb and do the best they could to hang on, and they did it very well. So hats off to them.
Yeah, well analyzed, actually, Sean. Well said, my man. Yeah, I would love to be able to beat Watford 4-0. On Saturday. It's also going to be away from home. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. I must say, we'll see how that goes. It will be interesting. Especially Ranieri. I guess he just got smacked by West Ham. So, you'd like to think that, if they, lost to West Ham, by a decent margin, I believe they were home as well, actually, Watford. I believe they were home for that match. So if West Ham smack them, then probably we can smack them, 4-0, just like you say, Dark Sun G. And yeah, it seems like they're pretty decent at playing with 10 men. So, well, Dark Sun G, also impeccable memory, my man. The Truth Sets Free says adversity is just a muscle, and even Conte can have a bad day. Imagine that. He's a human. We really did win, though, 2-1 or 3-1. Vegas really won the money. I feel like the only thing I'll disagree with this Truth Sets Free, I don't believe Conte is human. I believe he actually has become, the second coming of Christ, just like, Paratici himself. I do believe he's of the divine. But yes, we can all have a bad day. And I think that's what Sean definitely has been emphasizing a lot today. Truth is that, it's just a bad day at the office, not the worst day at the office. We still were able to get, something out of it. We were still able to get a point out of it, which does help. That means that if we win the next 2 games, then we could be 7 points, ahead or I think, sorry, not 1 point ahead of Arsenal, and not maybe 3 points, but, being ahead, maybe still getting 4th spot is still up for ours. It's still up for grabs. So big up, Truth. And to be honest, yeah, we're allowed to have a bad day. We're allowed to have a bad day. And this wasn't the worst of days. I'll tell you that. Could have been a whole lot worse. And we could have been smacked 2-0, 3-0 like we did, under Nuno at a certain stage, so it could definitely have been a lot worse. And yeah, I feel like Sean has also emphasized, that Doherty goal should have counted, that Harry Kane goal, when you really think about it as well. I still don't think that was offsides. I really feel like it's like, for some reason, your elbow is offsides, and that somehow, like, as if you're like going to score with your elbow, like apparently if you're leaning forward with your arm, apparently you're offsides. I just don't really get it anymore. I thought they overruled that. I thought they got rid of that rule and they decided to call it back. It just didn't really make a lot of sense to me, Truth. And yeah, we probably deserved to win it 2-1 or 3-1, but we didn't. And, we move on. But the only thing I disagree with, I do believe Conte is of the divine. I do believe he is.
Yeah. How would you change things on was it Sunday? We're playing Watford?
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday. Any can we go into that stuff now, or is it too early? Are we still reviewing the game, or can we pivot to, because I think we can summarize, right? Everyone's super frustrated, everyone's disappointed. Yes, we could have done things better, but on another day those goals could have stood and we could have had a better result. It is what it is, whatever. Should we look to try and change the mood, get a bit more positive? How can we pivot to beat Watford, smash them, and get everything back on track?
Yeah, I think what I would just maybe finally say is, maybe Southampton, we just have to tip our hats to for having a good performance. And as well, they just seem to be in a bit of good form. They clearly got a good a point, I believe, is away from home for them against West Ham. I'm not sure. It might have been away from home for them. And then as well, they got, a good result here against us, at home. And, maybe we just have to kind of take that in consideration. I think Ralph Hasenhüttl is also a great manager, regardless of maybe what people say. I think he is actually done quite well over there, considering the resources that he has, which aren't great. And also, clearly knows what to do with his team when he's down to 10 men, knows how to marshal them well, knows how to coach them, knows how to put them in those situations, and knows how to, be able to get the most out of it. And he clearly did. So maybe we just have to tip our hats to Southampton. To move on to Watford, I think we go back to the 3-4-3, because I don't know about you, Sean. This feels like this wasn't another example of maybe what the 3-5-2 or the 3-4-1-2 kind of sort of looks like. And it didn't look like it was our best. Maybe the 3-4-1-2 or the 3-5-2 is better served against a Chelsea. Maybe it's better served against a Liverpool, a Man City, maybe the bigger sides that dominate the ball. Maybe that's where the 3-5-2 is a bit better. But against, Southampton, it seems like the 3-4-3 is what we should really be going after. And
100%.
Maybe having Lucas Moura start, maybe that's what we can look forward to, is seeing Lucas Moura potentially starting again, in the next upcoming match. Another big positive maybe for this Watford match is the fact that Watford did in fact lose at home to West Ham, a team that we just absolutely slaughtered, I would say, at home. So, maybe to take that into consideration, West Ham, they were able to beat them away from home. I mean, why can't we?
Listen, I think that, well, I thought today was gonna be tough, and it was far tougher, but I thought we'd come away with the 3 points. I'm still gonna stick to my positivity. I think that we're gonna end up smashing Watford. I do think you're absolutely right. 3-4-3. If you're gonna play against these kind of the weaker teams in the Premier League, you have to put your best foot forward rather than trying to pick off things. You have to throw throw the game at them. And we didn't do that today very well. What we can do against Watford by going to the 3-4-3, starting with Moura, starting with hopefully a rested and fresh 11, will hopefully be able to. Watford won't be able to handle us. I don't think Watford's defence is particularly fast. They're kind of a little bit, they're bigger and stronger, but they're not particularly, mobile. So I think that we could, with Sonny and Moura playing, I think we could pull them apart if we start well. And that's what we didn't have today. And I think no more of these bad decisions, no more of these hopings that players that we've known for a long enough time now that are not good enough or have not got their mind on their game. One swallow doesn't make a summer. From now on, we have to know that our starting 11, our best 11, includes certain players and it doesn't include others. And against Watford, we need 3 points. Like there's no if buts or maybes about it. We have to smash Watford, get back to winning ways, get the start of the year going. We've got a really tough January. After Watford, I think we played Chelsea 4 times in January. I think we play 3 times in January. We've got Liverpool and we've got Arsenal, right? So we have to get the 3 points in the easiest one of these games. So back to 3-4-3, Jack. I completely agree.
Back to the 3-4-3. Would you maybe go? Do you think Winks played well enough potentially to start in the next match, and maybe ahead of a Højbjerg? Considering Skippy might be available for the next one.
I definitely want Skippy back in if he's fit. I definitely want Skippy back in. I felt like it was something missing today. In the last couple of games, he hasn't just been. Sometimes you see Højbjerg and Winks in certain games, and neither of them know who's supposed to be taking the more advanced role. And today was an example of it. There were times in the second half where both of them were just passing the ball and then staying still. They weren't moving. Skippy seems to have developed so quickly as a player. It was only like 7-8 games ago when I was talking to you guys saying, I worry sometimes about Skippy's passing. He's looking at the player he's passing to, but he's unaware of the peripheral. And sometimes his passing is weak and the other players were stepping in. It happened against Palace away from home. It happened against Arsenal. It was scary how his passing sometimes led to breaking, just to poor execution that led to then turning the ball over and then us conceding goals. In the last month or 2 months, his game has just gone on from level to level to level. And I don't now like a team that he doesn't play in. So I definitely want him in. And it's an interesting conversation about whether you'd have Højbjerg or Winks. I take your point today. I think Højbjerg wasn't at the races. His form is certainly off. And Harry Winks, look, I know the comments seem to be this mixed bag. Some people in the comments agree with me. I didn't think he had a good game. Other people in the comments are more on your side, Jack. You thought I think your reflection is he played better than I thought he did.
Yeah.
Maybe Højbjerg needs. Let's try Winks and Skip. We haven't seen that formation, have we? We haven't seen Winks and Skip play together. I don't think so.
What do you make of the fact that, I think you brought up something interesting there where I felt like Højbjerg and Winks, when played together, they don't seem to know which one does which or which one goes forward, which one stays back. I think part of that actually is the fact that Winks can't really carry the ball. He is a great passer sometimes, but he doesn't ever really carry the ball forward, right? He doesn't make those progressive sort of carries. Yeah. And then Højbjerg does make more progressive carries than I would say Winks does, but isn't exactly, that's not really his forte, I would argue, right? And maybe the problem is that we know that Skippy is the one that has been carrying the ball forward. He's the one sometimes surging the attack, kind of making things happen. Almost like I said, likened him to like an N'Golo Kante at times, where he'll win the ball back, but then he'll carry the ball forward. And then with Højbjerg and Winks together, it feels like neither of them exactly. Højbjerg will win the ball back, but he won't really have the confidence or the ability to really carry the ball after that, where Skippy we know can. So maybe the real thing is just you have to just to a degree keep Skippy in there and play either Winks or Højbjerg alongside him. Maybe that's what we're finding out at this moment in time. I mean,
for sure, at the moment you can't. I think you have to try. I disagree with everything you just said 100%. Skippy is doing things that the other two aren't. He's developing. His confidence is through the roof. He smiles when you see whatever happens, whether he's I'm against in the game. My mind's gone blank. When he made that sliding challenge at the last against West Ham, I think it was. And he made that sliding challenge against Soucek, and Soucek was just about to put it in, right? So it doesn't matter whether he's defending or when he's going forward. When in the replay, he's smiling as much as Sonny does. Like, he is enjoying his football. He's loving his football. It's really cool to see, and I think he's growing in confidence and technique is getting better and better by the game. So to your point, I would love to see. We've seen Højbjerg and Skippy, and we know it works. What I would like to see is whether Winks and Skippy works as well, and then if it does, then you've got to debate whether you want Højbjerg or Winks to partner him. That's a fine conversation to have, but I think you need Skippy to start against Watford, and I hope to God he's fit and he's rested and he's up for the game.
Lots of good material coming up for Kaniki Ansme. I'll tell you that. It's a very fascinating discussion. 2J in here with a big one. Big yourself up, 2J. And also, honestly, this is going to be a great, actually positive look, I must say, because, Sean and I are kind of still, I would say, kind of digesting what we've just seen. And he says, just saw the post-match analysis on BN Sports, and they're saying the Kane offside was ridiculous and should have been deemed onside. And the Doherty goal wasn't a foul. The keeper dropped the ball with a minimal contact. I think maybe we could probably take both of these here. And Sean, maybe the moral of this is potentially as well, 2J, as much as we probably have struggled, we've kind of struggled with really criticizing a lot of the players this match. And maybe that's because we did feel like we deserve more from this. We felt like, maybe we did deserve, the 3 points. It wasn't the prettiest of performances, but by no means to say that Harry Kane's, it didn't look offsides. And it also, I swear, the rule was made this season that, any sort of, on like if their arm is offside, their fingernail is offside, maybe their ear hair is offsides or whatever it may be, they were supposed to have gotten rid of that from last season. That's supposed to be kind of thrown away. There's supposed to be a bit of benefit of doubt. There's supposed to be a bit of leeway, kind of given to the striker, given to the forward. And they didn't do that there. And also as well, I think Neil Shafton said at one stage, 2J, that the lines, even when we saw it on the replay, the lines were right on top of each other. It did not feel like, really that much of an offside by any means. And then also Doherty's goal as well, like just did not seem like any real contact. And Sean was saying at one stage, 2J, that it was more that the goalkeeper ran into Doherty more than the Doherty ran into the goalkeeper. And also when the goalkeeper is trying to catch it like this, catch it into his midriff, it's kind of fair play. It's kind of fair game. If he's going up for it like this, I feel like, and you bring his arm down or you kind of knock his hand to the side, I would understand if that's a foul. But the fact that he's trying to catch it like this in this sort of position just means that it's probably fair game for anybody to do what they like to him. So I don't know, Sean, maybe that's the positive we can actually take from this, is maybe we were just really hard done by those two decisions, and VAR probably should have overruled the decisions.
Yeah, so the Doherty goal
by VAR, excuse me, I guess, at least in the first scenario.
So with VAR, right? If you've ever seen, I'm sure you've seen Wimbledon or professional tennis when they've got the Hawkeye, and it's one of those things where someone's challenged the ball and it's so close, they can zoom so close into the line to see whether it was like a millimeter or not that touched the actual line or didn't, right? So you're not just looking at it from the distance of the camera. On the screen today, with the VAR goal that was disallowed for offside, they kept the camera right back and they put two big lines down and they kind of look like there's no gap or overlapping. Why can't we use technology to zoom in to see? Let's get closer to see really what the difference, where the gap was. And from what I saw, it looked like they were calling it the shoulder of Harry Kane that was offside, and the shoulder is a goal scoring part of the body, right? You can score with your shoulder. So, but like I say, to me, I'd love to just zoom in. Like they must have the best cameras in the world with technology that could zoom in and see, and then draw the same lines again. But if you're drawing like thick lines on a screen, but you're 25 meters away from the action, then it's going to be very difficult to tell the difference anyway. And as far as Doherty's goal, look, I definitely didn't think it was a foul. However, we all know that the goalkeeper always gets the benefit of the doubt in those sorts of situations. I still think it was harsh for Tottenham. Great point from 2J. I think both goals should have stood.
Yeah, and it also maybe if an outside sort of like third party, like maybe BN Sports, who don't really have like a leg in this sort of affair as well, if
Yeah.
they kind of feel like those were harsh decisions made against us, especially I must say, I mean most media outlets they really love to watch Spurs kind of suffer. So if they were really being honest with themselves and I guess saying that we were a bit hard done by, we probably were a bit hard done by, and 2J, I completely agree. And also thank you for the insight. And also thank you for the two big ones as well, my man. Really do appreciate it. And honestly, that gives me a bit of positive outlook, as much as that is extremely frustrating that, maybe we should have gotten, those goals maybe allowed. It maybe just says that, it could have been a whole different result had maybe there been a different decision made in the VAR room. To bottom Duda saying, Winks only suits in a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-1-2 like Pirlo at Juventus. Not suggesting they're in the same league, but only from a positional sense. I find this actually very interesting because that is kind of the case to a degree. Like Pirlo. Pirlo played in that 3-5-2 and that 3-4-1-2 at Juventus with Marchisio or Vidal. And, at one stage, Pogba, alongside him. He never really played in a 3-4-3. And I guess at a certain stage, this game did turn into a bit of a 3-4-3, and we were kind of struggling with it. And also Dele Alli, with how anonymous he was playing, it kind of felt like at certain stages he was on the right wing or playing to the right of Harry Kane, and Sonny was kind of playing to the left of him, and it kind of felt like Dele Alli was more or less not really there in those central positions to help out Harry Winks or Højbjerg. And so maybe he's kind of right. Maybe the 3-4-3 is not really meant for Harry Winks. You have to keep a regimented 3-5-2. And maybe as well, like when we're coming up against the bigger teams, I can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe you play Harry Winks. If you're going to play that 3-5-2 and stick with the 3-5-2, you play Harry Winks. If you're going to transition to a 3-4-3, you maybe just get him off the pitch. And I mean, but what are your thoughts? I mean, potentially, he's not really suited in like a two-man midfield, Harry Winks.
No, I take the point. It's a good point. What I'd like to say to your last point, Jack, is against the big teams, I hope that we're not going to have to play any more big teams before we've signed someone who can fill the role in January. It would be fantastic if we could do some early business, because I don't think that Harry Winks is, he's had one good game. He's had one good game against Liverpool, and it was a masterclass from him. But today, like I said, I know there's mixed reactions. I didn't think he was very good. I don't think he's very good generally. I think he plays the ball sideways all the time. Can he fit into a 3-4-3 or a 3? Or can he play into a 3-4-3? I mean, we haven't seen it, so I feel like maybe there'll be a chance for him to prove it, and maybe against Watford is the chance to see it, right? Let's see if we can play. But I don't see that much of a massive difference, for what it's worth, between the 3-4-3 and the 3-4-1-2. I don't really see that much of a huge difference, apart from just having someone more advanced, and
felt that way today with Dele Alli. It didn't feel like it was that different at all. Actually, he wasn't ever really in the center of the pitch. He wasn't, he wasn't implanting himself and just kind of sitting in those central areas. He often was actually found out wide to the right. It felt like at a lot of stages. And so I think you're right. Actually, it wasn't that different from the 3-4-3. So maybe that does kind of, I think Harry Winks still played fine, but maybe that isn't best suited for him. And the bottom data is, I guess, saying that.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. But like I say, I hope that all of these conversations around Harry Winks is redundant. In 35 days' time, I hope that we have a squad that doesn't necessarily need to include Harry Winks. I certainly hope we have one that doesn't need to include Dele Alli. I'd love it if we had one that didn't have Matt Doherty in it. I'd like to see us have, imagine if we could sign, I know that, Kessie, if we do, there's noise about us signing him. If we do get him, it's probably not until June. But if we could get the job done in January, pay a little bit extra and get him signed now. Imagine him, Vlahovic, and all you need then is a right back, a right wing back, or maybe a centre back cover for Romero or for Sanchez, and then you've got a team that who cares about Harry Winks? We're in a new era that doesn't have to worry about whether Harry Winks can play in a 3-4-3, because we've got a different team with a level above and players that are just world class in every position. I don't think Harry Winks is good enough. He's not a Champions League level player, and we are trying to be a Champions League level team. So the same for Matt Doherty, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well said. Well said, my man. Well said. The bottom Duda. Hopefully that's good enough for an answer for you. I do agree with you, actually. I think that's actually a very class answer, to be honest, when it comes to it. Maybe he's not in the same league by any means as Pirlo, but you wouldn't put Pirlo in a two-man midfield. I'll tell you that. You wouldn't. He needs a bit more protection. But I also agree with what Sean says. We shouldn't also be talking about protecting Harry Winks and getting the best out of Harry Winks. We certainly could, ask for a whole lot better. But I think, we've hit most of the talking points, for today. I think everybody, hopefully, unless anybody else has any sort of other comments or anything they want to throw in a super chat, to bring up that maybe we haven't hit, we kind of spoke, I think, at least a little bit about maybe what we could look forward to with the Watford fixture. I think we've really slammed home today that while this may be a bit frustrating, while this does feel like points dropped, we probably were a bit hard done by. We were a bit unlucky by this sort of fixture. And, this just the way it all went down. And there weren't exactly too many horrible performances out there as well. There weren't really any players in particular, maybe apart from Dele Alli or Doherty, that I would say really were the reason why the points were dropped. It just felt like a bit of an unlucky sort of scenario, a bit of an unlucky sort of way it went down. And I'd like to think that maybe this was a bit of a stall kind of situation, but I think we're still improving. I think we're still getting better. I think there's still a bit of momentum behind this team, and we're allowed to make mistakes and we're allowed to drop points, but maybe that's just being a bit too optimistic. But maybe this is kind of why you're on this channel in the first place, I must say. But Sean, I'm about to plug in your channel. I mean, any final words, any final thoughts maybe on this before we wrap up?
No, I really enjoyed being a part of it today. Thanks for having me, mate. And thanks to everyone who joined in the conversation. Sorry it wasn't the result we all wanted, but chin up. It's only one game in a long season, and lots of other teams are dropping points against weaker opposition than Southampton, like Man United did the other day against Newcastle last night, I think it was. So it's not the end of the world, guys. We'll be fine. And onwards and upwards. We've got Watford, and then we've got hopefully a lot of spending by Daniel Levy. And by February the 1st, we'll be a happy bunch of campers again. So
there you go.
Keep your chin up, guys.
Yep, everybody. And also the transfer discussions with Matty Hayes will be coming very, very soon. And I think a lot of you really did enjoy that, a bit of the tag team duo between myself and Matty Hayes, and David Harris just, asked us all the questions on all the transfers. And we always love to talk about fixing Spurs. We always love to talk about improving Spurs. And maybe for the time being, I must say, if you do like talking about fixing Spurs and kind of thinking a bit differently about Spurs, while also you can subscribe to Sean's channel and get that bit of insight on the financials behind Daniel Levy and maybe what Daniel Levy could offer us in the January window. You can also head on over to the second channel of flatcapeurotalk, where I will be doing reviews of a bunch of players that we are potentially interested in / players that, maybe we haven't taken a look at that maybe we should consider as well as fans. I am going to be doing a new one on Matthijs de Ligt. Apparently we're very much interested in the guy. Not sure how much to read into that, but I will do a review on Matthijs de Ligt. And then as well, I'll be doing a review on Dejan Kulusevski, who I think we are very much interested in as well. So head on over there, please. I hope you enjoy it. It is a great place to maybe just kind of get, a bit of your frustrations out when it comes to certain players that you want to replace, maybe certain areas of the pitch in the squad that you want to improve. But that'll be all for now. At the end of the day, everybody, in Conte we trust, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.